Children.org.
He's smart, witty, and fast on the draw. It's Mark Levin this afternoon at 5 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
It's Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Curley, and I'm Gary McNamara at 86690 Red Eye. But eventually, I mean, even though it seemed like a little bit of a love-in between Trump and Nikki Haley, that won't last long.
Nope, it can't last during a primary season. That's when you go to your corners and come out fighting, and then after the primary season, it goes where it goes, whoever the nominee is going to be, and we'll see, how that plays out. But it will be interesting to see how many of those that everybody was talking about will actually jump in. Nikki Haley is going to be in officially, in a matter of hours, apparently. Top of the hour news is brought to you by House Products. Visit houseproducts.com.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.
Shell Rotella with advanced synthetic technology is designed to help keep your rig running with more mileage and less maintenance.
Eric and Gary for the Eden Pure Gen 40. Heating bills are on the rise as much as 50 to 200% this year, but a powerful heating technology used by the Eden Pure Gen 40 is already helping thousands of people save money on their heating bills. At Eden Pure, an advanced heating engineer team has combined an infrared heating system and a convective heating system into one space heater.
Eric, these two technologies, they work together to heat a home better than your current furnace, boiler, baseboard heat, and other space heaters. By using two forms of heating technology to heat a room, the Gen 40 heater makes you feel warmer and reduces your heating bill. Never be cold again and save money month after month with the Eden Pure.
Right now, you can get an additional $50 off the Gen 40 sale price with our discount code REDEYE50. Go to EdenPureDeals.com, enter the discount code REDEYE50. EdenPureDeals.com, discount code REDEYE50. And that gets you free shipping too.
Tom Bodette here, still leaving the light on for the long-haul trucker. While we were locked down at home, you were out there day and night bringing us what we needed to make it through. And Motel 6 is here to help you make it through. Want to trade a loose load strap and a sore back for a good night's sleep? Yes, you do. Motel 6 has a place just down the road with a clean, comfortable room and a great low rate. You'll know it when you see it. I'm Tom Bodette from Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Red Eye Radio and our sponsors are devoted to trucking safety. That's why we are proud to bring you the Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club. We've been saluting drivers who have surpassed the million-mile mark with preventable, accident-free driving. By reaching this milestone, you can be a part of an elite club of drivers who share remarkable safety records and demonstrate superior driving skills. If you or someone you know is a truck driver with 1 million miles or more of driving under your belt without a preventable accident, register online at RedEyeRadioShow.com. That's RedEyeRadioShow.com. The Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club would not be possible without the generous support of the fine folks from Petro Stopping Centers, House Lubricator, Motel 6, the St. Christopher Fund, and Cat Scale. We applaud the individual truckers and fleets who drive with care and keep our highways safe. The Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club, devoted to trucking safety. Register online at RedEyeRadioShow.com.
For more than 3 decades, the Trucker newspaper has been one of the most trusted sources for trucking news. Pick up your copy of the Trucker newspaper today for the latest national business and technology news impacting the trucking industry at more than 400 truck stops across the U.S. Or subscribe online at thetrucker.com/subscribe. The Trucker is your direct line to the news you need to succeed in the industry. That's thetrucker.com/subscribe.
Sponsored by the Trucker Media Group.
WLWI-AM, the home of the Ben Shapiro Show, and heard on 95.1 HD3 FM, Montgomery, a Cumulus media station.
Hey, good morning. You're headed to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WIN for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WIN for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WIN.
One search engine is used by 9 out of 10 consumers. It, the name begins with a G, and there are hundreds of things that go into being ranked highly by that engine. Your website, your business profile, even your social accounts. A couple of slip-ups and you find yourself on page 7. But at Cumulus Boost, we have the experts and resources to fix what's wrong and boost your findability, so you can rank higher than your competition. Get started today at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS boost.com. Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Hi, I'm Queen Latifah. My mom is stronger than anyone I've ever known. Growing up when life got hard, her strength helped pull us through. Even after her heart failure diagnosis, she remained stronger than ever.
My family's support keeps me strong. Together, we're rising above heart failure.
Heart failure doesn't have to steal your strength. For simple steps you can take to help prevent, improve, or manage heart failure, go to riseabovehf.org.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast and still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org. Brought to you by the Stephen and Alexandra Cohen Foundation and this station.
Rabies is a viral disease that can infect all mammals, including humans. This is State Public Health Veterinarian Dr. D. Jones. Protect yourself, your family, and your pet, not just by staying away from wild animals that often carry the virus, but also by getting your pets vaccinated. Raccoons and bats are the most common carriers of the rabies virus. The first reaction may be to approach a strange acting or injured animal, but oftentimes people are bitten or scratched while trying to help these animals. The best approach may be to contact your local animal control officers. If you are bitten or scratched by an animal, you should seek medical attention immediately. Although rabies is 100% fatal, it is also 100% preventable.
This is State Health Officer Dr. Scott Harris. For more information, visit our website, www.alabamapublichealth.gov.
Half of Alabama residents use a septic tank. Are you one of them? Septic tanks are used where municipal sewers are not available, and maintenance is important. Failing septic tank systems can endanger your family, pollute the environment, and be expensive to repair. So know the warning signs: wet spots in your yard, slow draining toilets or drains, gurgling sounds in drains, and sewage odors. You can prevent your system from failing by having your tank pumped every 3 to 5 years. Keep a separate container for grease and dispose of it properly. Use detergents low in phosphate and spread laundry loads over several days as to not overload the system with too much water. You need a permit before installing a new system or before repairing an existing one. Your local health department has a copy of the septic tank system permit that indicates the location of your system and the size of the tank.
This is State Health Officer Dr. Scott Harris. For more information, visit our website, www.alabamapublichealth.gov.
Don't miss Sean Hannity.
Biden incoherently adheres
Live this afternoon at 2 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by AC by Luquire. AC by Luquire is celebrating 40 years of comfort. They've proudly serviced the river region since 1983. Contact them for your heating, cooling, and plumbing needs. Visit acbyluquire.com for a list of services and offers today. That's acbyluquire.com. License number 84417.
Our morning starts off mostly cloudy, a little bit of patchy fog. Temperatures, though, are a struggle today. North and west of Montgomery, upper 40s, low and mid-50s. And a lot of cloud cover. Continuing to stay cloudy with a few peaks of sunshine either side of 60 for Montgomery, but warming into the low, mid, and upper 60s south and east of the capital city. So definitely a big temperature spread today. Wet weather arrives late Thursday into early Friday. Then we're dry by the weekend. And that's your First Alert forecast. I'm WSFA meteorologist Amanda Curran on News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Sons Automotive. Family owned, family driven on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Got a couple of accidents. South Boulevard in front of Baptist South, minor accident there, and in Prattville on Highway 82 at Long Court. So please use caution if you're heading in either one of those directions. Outside of that, interstate system's looking good, moving smoothly. Keep listening. We'll keep you posted. The Camrys have arrived at Reinhardt Toyota. Camry's the #1 selling car in America. Yours.
Everybody's beautiful.
Buckle up. Montgomery Skywatch traffic. This is Major Delay.
Call the tire experts at Chico's Auto Pros, where you'll get the price match guarantee and free extras like roadside assistance, local free location. Chico's Auto Pros.
Good morning.
And wake up.
Happening in the news on this Wednesday. On Tuesday, 80 inmates were released from the Alabama Department of Corrections and are now under electronic supervision. That number is a lot less than the original 400 inmates that were supposed to be released. That's because the Department of Corrections didn't meet the legal obligation to notify all the victims' families first. It's unclear how long it will take to make those victim notifications and when the other 300 inmates will be released. Actor and producer Alec Baldwin has been formally charged in the 2021 fatal shooting on the set of the movie Rust. Baldwin and the person in charge of the movie's guns are charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. The DA is saying that it's accusing them of failing to perform safety procedures that could have prevented the death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins. The Biden administration is ending the COVID national and public health emergencies on May 11th. That will mean the end of free testing and treatments for many Americans, but health experts say if you have insurance, testing should continue to be free after May.
Research shows that successful ad campaigns share 8 characteristics. Radio is the only local media option that delivers all 8 of them. Radio reaches your potential customers close to the point of purchase. It provides local consumer interactions with emotional connections that build trust and credibility for your business. Radio is unskippable and quick. We get your message out in 24 to 48 hours, and radio is very affordable. That's why radio consistently gives you the highest return on investment, and it's also why it should always be your base media buy. Research also confirms that marketing campaigns generate even higher returns, starting at a 19% lift when they are on more than one platform. That's why Cumulus offers a variety of effective digital solutions to enhance your base radio buy. At Cumulus, get your business results. Hi, I'm Sonia Thompson, and it's my job to get your business results on News Radio 1440. To learn more about how to get started, go to newsradio1440.com and click on Grow Your Business.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happy with it, will help
That sounds
you
like something
get
to
your
look
business
into,
growing.
and that's Medishare.
That's right.
You've heard switching to Medishare to pay for healthcare can save
Just call
your
me.
family
We'll talk about it.
$500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for Medishare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Medishare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy,
Good morning, everybody. Hope this day finds you well. Says you don't look pleased.
Very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Good morning, Alabama. How'd you sleep last night?
You can buy a mattress anywhere, but at Wolf Boys Bedding, we want to make sure you get a good night's sleep. We will take the time to show you how a mattress is made and what supports you and gives you comfort. Then let you make the decision on what's best for you. Whether you need an inexpensive mattress or a great night's sleep, we have you covered. Shop the Better Sleep Sale and get up to $400 off on Heritage Sleep's homegrown collection.
Don't count sheep, get a great night's sleep from Wolf Boys Bedding next to American Oak Floor. Hey folks, this is Jody.
And Cozy from the Rustic Outlet at American Oak and More.
Our new warehouse is getting closer to being ready. This means we have inventory that has to go.
We would rather discount it and sell it than move it.
Many items have an additional 25% off already low outlet prices.
Tables, chairs, benches,
Bar stools,
consoles,
bedroom suite,
occasional tables,
TV consoles,
armoires,
jewelry chests,
additional 25% off.
in stock, ready for immediate pickup or have it delivered.
Come fix my home, Bill Bradley. Come fix my home. I need you right away. My faucet's leaking. There's water on the floor. Can't take it one more day. Come fix my home, Bill Bradley. Come fix my home. I know you won't delay. For one flat rate price, I know it will be right. Bill Bradley, won't you please fix my home? Come fix my home, Bill Bradley.
Come fix my home.
I got the right of way.
Well,
For one flat rate price, I know it will be right.
Bill Bradley, won't you please fix my home?
Telling it like it really is.
That's the fact, Jack.
It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440. Sometimes you need to reset, refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
Tomorrow morning, if you wake up and the sun does not appear.
And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It is time to rise and shine once again, if you can. It's another day, one more, just one, that you're on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of you. Good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine. It is time for our daily bread. A word from on high, something to change your perspective or give you a new one. Either way, it's good for the soul. Trust me on that. Now, today's Daily Bread will be a repeat of yesterday's because for some reason, Daily Bread doesn't have a new entry for this day. So, but it never hurts to hear it again. So that's what we're going to do today. Good morning to you. And again, it is February the 1st, 2023 AD.
It is a day like all the other days that has never been. And it is a day that shall never, ever come again. And once it's gone, you don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and do all the things that you should have done that you didn't. And you don't get a chance to come back and undo the things that you do. So whatever it is that you do with this day, the 1st of February, 2023, make sure that if tomorrow should be one more time, you'll be proud of what you have done with this day. If you lived a while, you've seen, like I tell you every day, because each day is a new day. If you lived a while, you've seen, you've heard many, many, many things. And if we are blessed and give it a grace, an undeserved mercy of God, we may, I'm not sure, we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day. That is the first day of the rest of our lives. What are we going to do with them? Well, whatever we do, make sure that you reach back and every once in a while, give somebody else a helping hand. Bishop Elijah May said, whatever we do in life, we should do it so well, no man living, no man dead, no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say, if that is the standard by which you live life, you should always be successful. Oh, you'll fail at a thing or two, we all do. But you'll never be a failure until you quit. We say, give out if you must, rest if you can. But you never, never, ever give up. You never quit. Because quitters, well, they never win. And while winners may fail at a thing or two, they never quit. Keep going. Martin Luther King said, if you cannot run, then walk. And if you cannot walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving forward. Never, ever give up. And no matter what happens this day, remember this, it is still a great day to be on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of you. Good morning to you, Montgomery. It's a great day to be alive.
Hey friend, thank you for joining us for today's word of encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Our reading, titled Sustainer of Blessings, was written by James Banks. On January 15, 1919, a huge molasses tank burst in Boston. A 15-foot wave of more than 2 million gallons of molasses careened through the street at over 30 miles per hour, sweeping away rail cars, buildings, people, and animals. Molasses might seem harmless enough, but that day it was deadly. 21 people lost their lives, with more than 150 injured. Sometimes even good things, like molasses, can overwhelm us unexpectedly. Before the Israelites entered the land God promised them, Moses warned the people to be careful not to take credit for the good things they'd receive, saying in Deuteronomy 8, "When you eat and are satisfied, when you build fine houses and settle down, and when your herds and flocks grow large and your silver and gold increase, then your heart will become proud and you will forget the Lord your God." They weren't to attribute this wealth to their own strength or capabilities. Instead, Moses said, "Remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth." All good things, including physical health and the skills needed to earn a living, are blessings from the hand of our loving God. Even when we've worked hard, it's he who sustains us. Oh, to hold our blessings with open hands, that we may gratefully praise God for his kindness to us. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Deuteronomy chapter 8, verses 10 through 18. When you have eaten and are satisfied,
Praise the Lord your God for the good land he has given you. Be careful that you do not forget the Lord your God, failing to observe his commands, his laws, and his decrees that I am giving you this day. Otherwise, when you eat and are satisfied, when you build fine houses and settle down, and when your herds and flocks grow large, and your silver and gold increase, and all you have is multiplied, then your heart will become proud, and you will forget the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. He led you through the vast and dreadful wilderness, that thirsty and waterless land, with its venomous snakes and scorpions. He brought you water out of hard rock. He gave you manna to eat in the wilderness, something your ancestors had never known, to humble and test you, so that in the end it might go well with you. You may say to yourself, my power and the strength of my hands have produced this wealth for me. But remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth, and so confirms his covenant, which he swore to your ancestors, as it is today. Let's pray. Thank you, Father, for sustaining us each and every moment of our lives. Would you please help us to recognize your kindness every single day so that we may share it with others? And it's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen. Thanks so much for listening today. My name is Wes Ward, and today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Okay, you've had the word. Now it's time to get up. General, take it away.
Here we go, all the way, gotta be rough and tough, airborne, every day, we run
To the sun,
no sweat,
not yet, down in the mess hall on my knees. We got nothing to eat but a can of beans. The bread is moldy and the meat was bad. Well, you know darn well that you can't eat that.
Here we go, all the way,
gotta be rough and tough air, boom, all the way. When I was young, always wanted to be in the 82nd Airborne, needs and a breeze. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. Jump from an aircraft while in flight.
all the way, airborne, all the way, driving on,
All the way, airborne. This is for all those folks down at Fort Benning this morning saying they want to be like me. I got you.
and one more.
In the drizzling rain, well, I jumped in my parachute and boarded the plane. Jump master said 1 minute to go. Green light lead to the green blow.
All the way, airborne, all the way, driving on.
Yeah, I can see him right now running down there in Columbus. Yep. Round the jump track there. I can feel it.
Gotta be
Rough and tough. Air. Boom. All the way. What a way to wake up first thing in the morning. Okay, it's PT time. We got to knock this out. We only do PT 4 days a week. Okay, we got to get this done. Somebody get Sergeant Major and First Sergeant out. Okay, tell them we know they're retiring soon, but they're not retired yet. Let's do it on the dotted line.
my name on the dotted line.
And all I do is double time.
All I do is double time.
Up the hill.
Down the hill. Down the hill. Down the hill. Down the hill.
Up the hill. Airborne. C-130 rolling down the strip.
C-130 rolling down the strip.
Airborne, daddy gonna take a little trip. Come on now.
Take a little trip.
Stand up, hook up, shuffle to the door.
Stand up, hook up, shuffle to the door.
Jump right out and count to 4.
Jump right
Oh, come on now.
count to 4.
And the man don't open wide.
If my name don't open wide,
I got a reserve by my side.
I got a reserve by my side.
And if that one should fail me too,
If that
Oh, look out below, cause I'm coming through. Oh, yeah. Hey, every day. Hey, every day. Woo. On the old drop zone. Box me up and send me home. Tell my girl I did my chest. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Tell my girl I did my best. Oh, yeah. And the man, boy. Hey, all the way. Hey, every day. Okay, that's enough of that. Whew. PT, so good. So good first thing in the morning. Get your blood pumping, get your mind right, and shakes up the old gray matter. Now let's pay homage to all of our armed forces of these United States like I do every morning, because every morning is Veterans Day up in here. That's right. So come on now. Let's get it right. Let me say good morning to Mr. Bailey out there working the streets of Montgomery. Got his first name again, but I'll get it tomorrow. I'll get it right. Good morning to him from Montgomery Sanitation Department. Way out there working way before I get here in the mornings. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Rain, sleet, or snow. Sanitation department's always on the go. Good morning to the maintenance department. Good morning to Montgomery Police Department. Good morning to ALEA, Alabama Law Enforcement Agency. Good morning to, I miss anybody? The fire department. Oh, yeah, got to have them. To all the people who go in when everybody else is running out. Good morning to the mayor. And good morning to the Alabama National Guard Sergeant Major. Always got to give props to the Sergeant Major. Sergeant Major Rasmussen. Good morning to you, ma'am. Okay, you're not a ma'am, you're a Sergeant Major. Let's get that squared away. Anyway, good morning. It's time to rise and shine for you, too. That's right. And good morning to the folks on Maxwell and Gunner Air Force Base, the home of the United States Air Force's Intellectual University. We like to call them our top guns. Yeah. Anybody see a 141 out there? I just got to see one more time. I just want to gaze my eyes on a 141 Star Lifter. So if anybody knows the ones out there when they did, how about let me know so I can go out there and just rub it one time on the wing. All right then. Ever forget anything? Nah, I'm good. Oh yeah, somebody remind me it's Black History Month. It's been Black History Month ever since I was born. I'm just saying. I didn't kiss up to the mayor this morning. Oh, come on. Good morning, Mayor Reed. How you doing? And last but certainly not least, their motto is Semper Fidelis. But they couldn't get that right, so they had to cut it short. Marines have a short memory. They just said Semper Fi. Well, whether it's Semper Fidelis or Semper Fi, it means the same thing. Always, always faithful. Good morning, Jarheads. All righty then. Okay, how's everybody doing? I have confirmed what I have always known. And last night, about 2:15 this morning, I confirmed it. Oh, yeah. I know you guys will not believe me. However, I'm telling you, it's true. Because I confirmed it last night. Yeah, I did. I know you guys don't believe me, but one of these days, you'll say, Elkins told us this, but we didn't believe it. We just didn't believe it. Well, so there I was at 2, and I heard something. I heard something in the refrigerator. Okay, it was like a party was going on up in there. So I snuck in the kitchen, tried to open the refrigerator real softly and see who was talking in there. And I'm telling you, the bacon had moved. It had moved from the top shelf to the bottom shelf. Evidently didn't want the company of the sausage. So there was a ruckus going on in the refrigerator last night. So I'm telling you, the people in the, okay, they're not people. The things in the refrigerator do communicate. Because or else, if that's not true, how did the bacon get on a different shelf than it was before I put it in there? I mean, after I put it in there. So tell me, somebody come up with an answer for that one. Yeah. And I heard them moving. I mean, it felt like they were moving furniture in the refrigerator. But when I opened the door, they saw a crack of darkness coming through the light. So they all began to be quiet. Okay? I'm just telling you, it happens. And so I put the bacon back where I wanted it, where I can cook them. So when I get off the air today, I'm going back to the house, and I'm going to see if that bacon has moved again. Okay? So this time, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my camera in there, see, and turn on the video on the camera. Hope it don't get too cold in there for it. But anyway, so I'm going to prove my theory one of these days. I'm just telling you, they last night they was having a party in the refrigerator. I know you guys don't believe me, but I'm telling you, they be communicating in there. Okay, I'm just saying. Anyway, so let's take a break. We'll come back, lesson of life, and all those things we do on this hour. But I'm just telling you, check your refrigerator out. There's something going on in there. Okay. I know. You think I'm crazy? You think I don't have all my ducks in the order in my head or something up here? I'm telling you, there's stuff in the refrigerator be moving. Okay. I mean, how else can you explain how the bacon got on the second shelf? When I closed the door, it was on the first shelf. Yeah, really? How do you do that? And the sausage guy, Conecuh. I love that Conecuh sausage, but it's too hot for me. I thought Conecuh sausage had, and maybe that's why the bacon moved, because the sausage was too hot. Because they know, and the bacon know I don't like hot food. But I'm just telling you, it happened. So now I'm going to have to put a video camera in the refrigerator to show you guys what I'm talking about. Now, let's take a break, and we'll be back right after the commercial message.
Weather forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by AC by LuQuire. AC by LuQuire is celebrating 40 years of comfort. They've proudly serviced the river region since 1983. Contact them for your heating, cooling, and plumbing needs. Visit acbyluquire.com for a list of services and offers today. That's acbyluquire.com. License number 84417.
Our morning starts off mostly cloudy, a little bit of patchy fog. Temperatures, though, are a struggle today. North and west of Montgomery, upper 40s, low and mid 50s. And a lot of cloud cover. Continuing to stay cloudy with a few peaks of sunshine either side of 60 for Montgomery, but warming into the low, mid, and upper 60s south and east of the capital city. So definitely a big temperature spread today. Wet weather arrives late Thursday into early Friday. Then we're dry by the weekend. And that's your first alert forecast. I'm WSFA meteorologist Amanda Curran on News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Sons Automotive, family owned, family driven on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Got a couple of things going on. Watch for disabled 18-wheeler, bottom of the ramp, Day Street to 85 northbound. Also Mobile Highway at South Lawn Drive. And Highway 82 at Old Otagoville Road in Prattville. We've got an accident and finishing up a minor accident, South Boulevard in front of Baptist South. Enjoy a movie at AMC Festival Plaza Theater. Then eat at the Bubbly Hen. It's all at Festival Plaza, Taylor and Vaughn, a Colliers managed development. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
Talk tires with Montgomery's #1 tire store, Chico's Auto Pros. Chico's has you covered with Chico's Auto Pros price match guarantee and 0 down options.
Have you ever played a game where you couldn't hear yourself think? As weird as that sounds, that was exactly the issue going on in Valorant. Recently, the game added their newest map called Lotus. There's 2 revolving doors that were so loud that players couldn't hear anything else. This would have caused Lotus to be a disaster competitively. This week, Riot Games heard the fans and adjusted the volume right before the map made its competitive debut.
The latest esports and gaming news. Find it online at checkpointxp.com.
Technology lets you access a personal trainer from home, like on this exercise mirror.
That's talking more squatting.
But to keep your hybrid workforce in shape, you need more than technology.
And kick. And jump.
You need PCs powered by Intel vPro, custom configured by CDW. Hardware-based security and remote management make it easy to protect and monitor PCs from anywhere.
Wait, don't turn me off.
Intel vPro makes secure remote management possible. CDW makes it powerful. Learn more at cdw.com/vpro.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you are 45 or older, Rumshaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us at www.rumshakerinc.org. That's rumshakerinc.org.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. John, what are you doing? Get in my car. Why are you walking to work?
Thanks, man. It's these insanely high gas prices. They are draining my bank account. I can't afford to drive anymore.
Dude, don't walk. Just do what I do, because I never pay full price for gas anymore. I use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, you're telling me you get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WINNING for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code WINNING. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WINNING for 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WINNING.
Hi everybody, I'm Vicki Gunvalson. You probably know me as the OG DOC.
Very special guest, Vicki Gunvalson.
Believe me, I'm a lot more than just a real housewife. And now I'm tackling a whole new territory with my very own podcast. It's called Whoop It Up with Vicki. And I'm talking about my life as a real housewife in front of the camera and behind the scenes. Subscribe to Whoop It Up with Vicki so you don't miss a thing.
From the Westwood One Podcast Network, where the conversation starts.
Telling it like it really is. It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440.
Okay, I got you. Okay, I got you. I know what you're pushing there. You know, I don't normally get into sports. I let John Longshore down the hall get into that, but I have to tell you, Michael Jordan was still the best basketball player ever played the game. Okay, he was just, no wonder he worth $1.6 billion. I mean, when you're the best to ever play that game, and he wasn't a Wilt Chamberlain, he was not Lou Alcindor or whatever it was like Muhammad. No, what did Lou Alcindor name himself? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Okay, got you. I feel it. So Michael Jordan. I stopped watching basketball when Michael Jordan retired. I mean, only reason I ever watched basketball to see what that man was going to do. Kind of like, he's like the superstar, kind of like me of talk radio. I'm the superstar of talk radio. That's me. But I'm not as good as Michael Jordan was. Okay, I'm just saying. There's just some people who are just really, really talented, or they really worked hard. I think Michael Jordan's one of them people that really, 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 really worked hard. And the only thing I didn't like about Michael Jordan is that him and his tennis shoe thing, where he allowed his name to put on these tennis shoes. They cost $15, and Nike sold them for like, $200, $300. I'm just saying, $15 shoes. I mean, that's a hell of a profit margin. But I'm not mad at Michael Jordan. You know, okay, whatever. I guess I called that business. But anyway, so he was just a great basketball player. You know, and I don't really like basketball. I mean, all they did with me when I was playing basketball left me on the side of the curb. You know, I go down the road trying to get a pickup game, and they'd be playing the basketball. So I go over and say, I got next, and they never picked the brother up. You know, they never, ever, ever picked me up. Okay, I'm always left sitting there. As a matter of fact, I'm telling you, that was like 1974. I'm thinking I would have still been sitting there right now if I just hadn't got him and left. I'm just saying, you know, it's unfair to treat short people that way. I'm just saying, that's not fair. Okay, it's just not fair. I shouldn't do that to short people. We can play ball too. Okay, I may not be Michael Jordan, but I had I had a pretty good jump shot, you know, stuff like that. And so I'm just thinking, and I have been scarred for life because of that. Yeah, I have been scarred for life. I mean, just think, I could have still been sitting on that curb. Here it is, 2023. I mean, I had a greater chance of leaving there, finding $1 million than I did. So what? I was 5'6". So Spud Webb was short. It was good. I'm just saying, you know, I'm just going to leave that alone. Yeah. I mean, I had a bad day last night. My bacon moved, you know, my sausage moved, and all of a sudden, and then I keep having these flashback memories of not being picked up on the basketball team on the pickup game. So I would have still been sitting there right now, 60-something years old, waiting for somebody to pick a brother up so he can play a game. You guys ought to remember that stuff, because that stuff affects you your whole life. Your whole life it affects you. I looked at myself as a failure because I couldn't get in the game. Okay, I'm just going to leave that alone because it's depressing. Okay, I'm just going to leave that alone. Anyway, good morning to you. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing pretty good, except for that little moment right there where I had with the basketball thing going on right there. Well, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. All right, so we got word of the day and lessons of life. These are the things that, you know, lessons of life are the things we learn by living and by going through a few things anyway. Okay, now, the word of the day means to deceive or trick someone. Okay, I'm with you. Okay, and that's probably what politicians do. Okay, that's probably what they do. And the word means to deceive or trick someone. And what is that word? Hoodwink. Hoodwink. Okay, that's right. They fill your head with a bunch of Bravo Sierra, and they tell you all kinds of things that they're going to do. Okay, so like that Democratic Party, all kinds of things they're going to do, and then you look around and you're still in the same place you were. Okay, that's called being hoodwinked. Okay, you know, yesterday I ran into somebody who actually works with McConnell. Actually worked with the Mitch McConnell up there in Kentucky. Yeah, I can't, but I had to keep my sources, you know, close to me, because if I ever let the word get out, you know, then the newspaper would want to talk to me, and other radio stations want me to come over there and talk to them. So I'm just gonna say I had a conversation with somebody who worked with Mitch. Okay, yesterday. Okay. I'm still not impressed by Mitch, but I'm impressed by the person I talked to. Okay, I'll tell you that another time. And we let a lot of people out of prison yesterday. Listen, I'm going to tell you something about that stuff you don't know. Okay, but we'll get to that later on. Lessons of life. Lessons of life. Lessons of life. You ever know a lot of people want to be successful? They do. They come up with all these grandiose plans, and they put it on paper what they're going to do and all that stuff. And the minute they come to a hiccup in the road, they want to quit. Been there, done that. Until you figure out one day, the only thing you get when you quit is nothing. So, how do you begin your successful journey, your successful travels through life? How do you put yourself in a better position? How do you put yourself with better possibilities? How do you do that? Well, I'm glad you asked me that question this morning, because in my lessons of life here, this is what I'm going to tell you from the things that I have learned by living. You will be successful when you can, and these are things you must do. Okay? When you let your dreams be bigger than your fears. Your actions say more than your words. And your faith is stronger than your feelings. Just in case you might want to hear that again. You will begin to be successful when you can let your dreams, the things that make you get up every morning, be bigger than the things that want to keep you in bed. Okay? Your actions, the things you do, say more about you than the words that you use. And what you believe is stronger than the things you feel. Do that, and you put yourself in a pretty good position to be successful. One more time. You will begin to be successful when you can let your dreams be bigger than your fears, your actions louder than your words, and your faith stronger than your feelings. That, my friends, is the lesson of life today. Now, this is a political year in Montgomery, so the word of the day, hoodwink, may come into play as we traverse this year. The good Lord allows me to stay here a while. We're gonna probably run into some hoodwinking, okay? But that's okay. So when you hear that word during an interview, that means we've been hoodwinked. Okay, I'm just saying. Now, most of the guys out there probably won't want to come up here and talk to Elk Dog, because Elk Dog didn't heard it all. I didn't heard it. I didn't heard it 3 times and been around the world 4 times. So I didn't heard it. But we'll give him a fair shot, okay? But that hoodwinking thing is gonna get geared up here real soon. August is not that far away. Okay, I'm just saying. Anyway, so good morning to you. Now, these are some things that have happened along the way since 1901. In 1908, Lisbon regicide, King Carlos of Portugal, and Infante Luis Felipe was shot dead in Lisbon. 1924, Russia, United Kingdom relations are restored over 6 years after the Communist Revolution. 1942 was the year. World War II, Joseph Terboven and somebody else whose name I can't pronounce, so want to get there, occupied Norway. Okay. So also 1942, World War II, the U.S. Navy conducts the Marshall's Gilbert raids, the first offensive action of the United States Japanese forces in the Pacific Theater. And in 1942, Voice of America, the official external radio and television service of the United States government, begins broadcasting with programs aimed at areas controlled by the Axis powers. And in 1942, Mao Zedong makes a speech on reform in learning, the party and literature which puts into motion the rectification movement. In 1946, Tai Lee of Norway is picked to be the first United Nations Secretary General. Because I'm still trying to figure out what they actually did. 1946, the Parliament of Hungary abolishes the monarchy after 9 centuries, proclaims the Hungarian Republic. 1950, I wasn't here yet, but I was on the way. The first prototype of the MiG-17 makes its maiden flight. That's a aircraft, a fighter. Okay. 1960, 4 black students staged the first of the Greensboro sit-ins at a lunch counter in Greensboro, North Carolina. 1964, the Beatles had their first #1 hit in America, I Want to Hold Your Hand. Not that I really care. 1968, in the Vietnam War, the execution of Vietnam Cong officers. Listen, I cannot necessarily can no simply trying to crucify this guy's name, but let's just say he's gone now. Vietnamese National Police chief is recorded on motion picture film as well as an iconic still photograph taken by Eddie Adams. 1968, Canada's three military services, the Royal Canadian Navy, the Canadian Army, and the Royal Canadian Air Force, are unified into the Canadian Forces. 1968, New York Central Railroad and the Pennsylvania Railroad are merged to form Penn Central Transportation. And 1972, Kuala Lumpur becomes a city by a royal charter granted by Yang di Pertuan, or something close to that. 1974, a fire in a 25-story building, Jolima building in São Paulo, Brazil, kills 189 people and injures 293. 1979, okay, now we're coming back to something I know about, okay? 1979, the Iranian Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini returns to Tehran after nearly 15 years of exile. Yeah, I thought I was going to have to go there and handle him, but they worked it out, so I didn't have to go. 1991, a runaway collision between a U.S. Air Flight 1493 and a SkyWest Flight 5569 at Los Angeles International Airport results in the death of 34 people and injures 30 others. 1992, the chief judicial magistrate declares Warren Anderson, the ex-CIO of Union Carbide, a fugitive under Indian law for failing to appear in his court case. In 1996, a Communications Decency Act is passed by the U.S. Congress. I think we forgot all about that when we got wrapped. And in 1998, Rear Admiral Lillian E. Fishburne becomes the first female of African American heritage to be promoted to Rear Admiral. Congratulations to her. Would have been me, but I wasn't a female. 2002, Daniel Pearl, an American journalist and South Asia Bureau Chief of the Wall Street Journal, kidnapped on January 23rd, is beheaded and mutilated by his captors. In 2003, Space Shuttle Columbia, disintegrated during a re-entry of mission STS-107 into the Earth atmosphere, killing all 7 astronauts aboard. 2004, a pilgrimage stampede is a stampede at Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia. 200 people were trampled to death and 244 were injured. Don't quite get that one, but okay, those are things that happen. 2005, now I'm going to really mess this guy's name up, but okay, I'm going to see that. Gyanendra, close to it, of Nepal, carries out a coup d'etat to capture the democracy, becoming chairman of the Council of Ministers. I know most of us don't know where these countries are, don't have a clue where they are, and I'm one of them. But I got a GPS, so I could find it if I had to. 2009, the first cabinet of Joanne somebody, no sense trying to kill her name, was formed in Iceland, making her the country's first female prime minister and the world's only openly gay head of government. I think we probably passed that a long time ago. We just didn't tell nobody. 2012, 74 people were killed and over 500 injured as a result of clashes between fans of Egyptian football teams, Al Masry and another team. No sense kind of messed that name up either. 2013, the Shard, the 6th tallest building in Europe, opens its viewing gallery to the public. And the year was 2021. A coup d'etat, of Myanmar removes the king from his powers and restores military rule. And in 2022, five-year-old Moroccan boy, Rajan, whatever his last name is, falls into a 32-meter, 105 feet deep well in somewhere in that place. Tumarat, or close to it, commune, and with Morocco, but died 4 days later because the rescue workers, before the rescue workers could reach him. And that's some of the things that happens on this day. Not a country. I got to go back to America now. Got a hard enough time with our names. I can't read these folks' names. Man, they got all kind of things in their names. They got a comma here and a comma there and an asterisk here and an asterisk there. What kind of name those? What kind of names are those? They can't be like Americans. Just get a straight name. My name is John, and that's it. You know, I don't know, Kevin or something, or Dennis. You know, something. Just give me names that got 2 syllables. Okay, I don't. They got 5 syllables. I'm not gonna mess with them. Okay, I'm just not gonna do it. It's just not worth doing all that. God bless America for having English. I got a hard time with it. I know, doggone, you got 6 syllables in your name. I ain't gonna be able to pronounce that. So anyway, that's the way it goes on this day. Yesterday, they called themselves freeing a bunch of people. Now they said 400, but a lot of the mayors. Now Mayor Woodfin was complaining in Birmingham. He didn't know it was coming. He thought he had all of them out already, and they're running around Birmingham. But that's okay. There are some unforeseen things that happened yesterday at this release. I'll tell you about them because I got inside scoop. You know what's going on out there. There's some unforeseen things that happened yesterday at this release. Notwithstanding, the mayor of Birmingham was pretty ticked off, like it really mattered. Like it really mattered, but they let him go. But they didn't do 400. They did 80. I think they did altogether. They released 96. But I'm going to tell you the strangest things that happened yesterday with some of those inmates that they let go. And I got to tell you, you won't believe it, but you will when I tell you. I don't think the governor really or the Department of Corrections really thought this one through. Okay. Now I personally don't think everybody needs to be languishing in jail anyway for selling some drugs. I don't care. Now killing people and things like that, I'm with you. But selling a little drugs, smoking a little dope. Oh, and I found out why methamphetamine is such a dangerous drug. Oh yeah, found out that and did some exhaustive research on the area last night while I was combing the world looking for things to talk about and things that really mattered. But that methamphetamine has a side effect, woo, that most of you haven't heard about. That's why it is such a debilitating drug. But I tell you, that's what, now I understand why people are making methamphetamine in their car, in their car, you know, riding down the road with a moving lab in the back seat of an old Pinto. I can understand that now. I got it now. I'll tell you about that as we traverse the highways. It is the first Thursday of the month, and of course, Donald's here. What day is it? Wednesday. What did I say? Thursday. Oh. Okay, the day before Thursday. Anyway, it is the first Wednesday of the month. Donald Jenkins is here with me. No doubt to give me some enlightenment or whatever. But I'm gonna tell you about that methamphetamine stuff. Yeah, now you're gonna see why people will go to jail for it. We'll be back.
WSFA 12 News Update on News Radio 1440.
Good morning. Good morning. You don't even know what day it is. What day is it? It's today. It's hump day. What day is it? Hump day. Hump day. It's Thursday Eve.
Unclear how long it will take to make those victim notifications.
Well, how have you been, young man?
Another 300 inmates will be released. Actor and producer Alec Baldwin is formally charged in the 2021 fatal shooting on the set of the movie Rush.
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
Baldwin, the person
Beats the
in charge of
alternative.
using guns, are charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. The DA is saying that his accused of
Preparing
failing to
stuff,
perform
getting
safety
stuff out of
procedures. The
could have prevented the death of cinematographer
Mom,
Alina
son?
Hutchins. The Biden administration is ending the COVID national and public health emergencies on May 11th. That will mean the end of free testing and treatments for many Americans. But health experts say if you have insurance, testing should continue to be free after May.
News Radio 1440 WLWIA, the home of Sean Hannity. Also on 95.1 HD3 FM, Montgomery, Alabama. A Cumulus media station.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do
I would
on the
imagine it
field
would
with
be.
United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor.
Yeah, but you
Why?
can maintain.
Because
See, most
over
of us
a million
can't.
kids a
And then
year
when
drop
you
out of
rent
school,
houses, a lot
and that's not okay. It takes 12 years
Yeah.
to create a graduate, but it takes about the same
Renters
time
don't
to create a
usually take care
dropout.
of a house.
And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me,
So it costs
or
money.
it could be you.
That's
Studies
an
show that if we
investment.
get
It's
to
not
these
worth
kids
it.
earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to
A lot of
graduate.
people have that.
So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm not.
Volunteer
Yeah.
reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a
Gone,
child
gone.
succeeds, we all
I've
succeed.
been having a good time giving away stuff.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united.
Furniture, clothes.
Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought
Stuff
to you
that
by
still has
United
tags
Way,
on.
the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
I know women do that a lot.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Getting support from friends online kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
Instead of smoking after I ate, I'd get up and take a walk.
I missed having a cigarette in my hand, so I'd hold a pen or a straw, anything.
Until I knew I wouldn't give in to temptation, I spent more time with my friends who didn't smoke.
I went to places that were smoke-free.
I didn't stay quit the very first time I tried.
I kept on trying, and I learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
I quit.
I quit.
I quit.
We did it, so can you.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
I'm Ed Horan, author of The Kindness Revolution. My wife and I enjoyed a wonderful dinner last week with friends we hadn't seen in a long time. The next day, I sent a text message letting them know how much we enjoyed being with them. That same day, we received a hamburger, which they delivered to our mailbox, letting us know how much they had enjoyed our dinner, along with an article we had discussed.
Yeah.
That note and that effort means a lot to me, and it should. The fact they had taken the time to write and deliver a heartfelt note sure made my little text message seem somewhat indifferent. In today's high-tech, low-touch world, how refreshing it is to get a thoughtful
That's right. But the board,
you're an advisory.
In
other words, you're just like the board that we have.
I hope I can make someone
Yeah, you can't do that.
You only have the power that.
Check us out at thekindnessrevolution.net.
And they ain't nothing. They ain't nothing.
I love being a part of Action Team. It helps me help other people. It helps me feel good.
Being a part of the team always feels good. Go for it. Don't even hesitate.
For more than a decade, Major League Baseball players and action teams and high school students have been working together to train and inspire the next generation of volunteers.
Once you get there and realize how much you can change someone's life, that's one of the best feelings in the world.
Just that simple act that takes 5 or 10 minutes of your time is making a difference and is transforming someone else's life.
All-star Giancarlo Stanton and Chris Padua join action team captains to make a difference in their communities. And you can too.
Just try it. Just go to one event, one action team event.
If we all show up together, that's what it's all about. It's not just one person. It's a group. It's a team.
It's been incredibly rewarding for me. It'll just make you feel so good about yourself.
For more information, go to actionteam.org.
In other words,
there's a threat targeting America.
I don't know.
It's growing fast, but they still hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by
Parks and
tiny
Rec
ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV AIDS combined.
Their budget is nothing. They got no money.
And
what they've done
facial
is
paralysis, and even
a
memory
lot
and
of
concentration problems, often
things
called
that
brain fog.
Parks and Rec
As the
has
threat of Lyme disease grows
that
to more
were
than
junior high
300,000 projected cases each year,
that
it's
is
time for
kind
us
of
to
up in the
target
air
Lyme
because
disease.
the funding, it doesn't come from the city like that.
Right.
Even in your own
And that all, and you say that all happened when we had desegregation. See, when it was segregated, you had the white junior high schools had these really nice programs, but the black ones didn't. And then when you had desegregation, everybody wanted everything equal, but to make it equal, that cost a lot of money. That just didn't happen. I remember that very carefully.
It's time for fun in the sun, but be careful how much sun. Too much sun exposure can be dangerous. Skin cancer is the most common form of cancer in the United States, affecting all races, genders, and generations. Experts believe that 4 out of 5 cases of skin cancer could be prevented since damage from the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays is mostly avoidable.
How's that skateboard?
No matter where you are this summer, whether it's the beach or the backyard, take a few minutes to protect yourself from the sun. Try to stay out of the sun as much as possible, especially between the hours of 10 a.m.
Oh, that's right. That,
peak,
when
the sun's rays are at its strongest.
See, there was another land swap between the city and
Put on sunscreen repeatedly throughout the day. Remember, your skin can be affected by the sun's rays even when it's cloudy.
Used to be
This is State Health
Terry
Officer
Everett
Doug
was our
Harris.
representative.
For more information, visit our website,
Riverside. That was a complicated thing. Now I tell you, boy, it's not really
He's the voice of the conservative millennial.
Ben
Ben Shapiro Show tonight at 8 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
It really is a functioning.
Depend on it.
Yeah, they actually.
But City of Montgomery is the only city that has more than 5 members. Usually the members of that, you have one member from public housing, an architect, an engineer, and stuff like that.
All righty then, we are back. Good morning. The time on the clock says 7:06 in the morning. It is a Wednesday morning. Donald Jenkins is here with me to give me some equilibrium of sorts. He's wrong most of the time, but it's kind of tough being in a room with me because I'm mostly right. So, but I'll give him a shot. Yeah. Good morning, Donald.
Good morning.
A little MJ there for you to motivate the first thing in the morning.
Well, thank you.
And
Well, good morning, Kevin. And I take issue with that statement where you said, I'm wrong or you are right. And I always try to tell at the beginning of every show that I bring a perspective. You have a perspective. And to explain to the audience, if you haven't heard it before, your perspective is your point of view. Your point of view is based on your perception. What you perceive is what you believe. That's your understanding. So if your perception of something is whatever it is, it's because of your understanding. And that is the same way. We have disagreements about issues because of our understanding. We have a different understanding. Like the last time I was here, you had an understanding that the Confederate soldiers were recognized by the United States. They were not. And there were arguments. They were not. Were not recognized. No, I was just saying.
But they are in the National Cemetery.
But they are not recognized.
Well, they're there.
In other words, and how we got there, and I knew that all the time because in Arlington, that was the biggest cemetery at the time, and it was originally a 25 square mile plantation. And yes, there are bodies on there, but they are not recognized as citizens and servants of the United States.
But I would still not say they call them traitors.
They are traitors, and that's where I say we have a different perspective.
Maybe officially.
And this is how we got into the whole conversation when we were talking about Robert E. Lee, who was a traitor to the United States of America, and he was not even recognized as a citizen until 1975. And that was by Gerald Ford. That is the person who assigned his papers because he had sent in his paperwork and he declared that he declared an oath of allegiance to the United States, but the president never received it.
Whatever.
Yeah, but
we all God's children. So
what does that mean?
Well, that means that we all are wrought from the same hue. We all come from the same source.
And what does that have to do with
what we're talking about? Because all God's children make mistakes, And they made a couple.
The issue we were talking about is what is a traitor? Right. That's what I'm saying. But I think your understanding of what a traitor is different from mine.
Yeah. I watch. Do you think well, I told them we get that. But there are other things to talk about besides that. Mm-hmm. Over the weekend, there was an article in the paper about the hidden costs of magnet schools, and so I thought it was an interesting article. And Melvin got Dr. Melvin got in, paid a lot of money for that degree, so let's give him some respect. He was in the newspaper saying a couple of things, but let's talk about, first of all, what happened yesterday in the state of Alabama, where they released 96 people, I think is what it eventually turned out to be, from prison, and supposedly with ankle bracelets on and things of that nature, but that's not quite true. Everybody didn't have an ankle bracelet on. Some of them did, some of them didn't. But you know what they did? They put them on a Greyhound bus. You know where that bus is headed to? Atlanta. They didn't know. They put them on a Greyhound bus, and now some of them in Atlanta. So, and by courtesy of the state of Alabama, because you're not supposed to leave the state, but the state sent them to Atlanta. Maybe they thought they were illegal aliens or something. I don't know. Anyway, 860-1414 number here when you was called up and talk to you. I don't have a problem with releasing, but I think having people languish in prison for selling some dope or something like that, to me, that's crazy. Make them do some hard labor for about 90 days and then let them go. Put them in prison for years and years and years. To me, that's just crazy. I think that's cruel and
end up being nonviolent offenders.
Yeah, I guess that's what they did. It's supposed to give them an ankle bracelet and stuff like that, but I don't know if that worked out or not. Good morning. Yes. Pretty good. A bunch of wait a minute. Was Moses a murderer? Oh, but he still was a murderer. Right, but you didn't answer my question. Was Moses a murderer? Okay, and so I think he's God's child too. Okay then. So what you say was inaccurate. Okay. Yeah, I know what happened. I'm just saying. Everybody that's been created has been created by God. Everybody. Everything. Yeah. Because they don't sound as crazy as you most of the time. Yeah. Yeah. I sure it. I'm talking to it. Hey, Ed, define to me what truth is. Okay, okay, yeah. Well, I tell you, I wouldn't talk to a fool if I was you. I wouldn't waste my time. Well, a fool can't be helped. It's the same thing you said. It's the same thing you said yesterday, the day before, the day before, the day before that, the day before that, and the year before that. So give me something new I make it handle you, but you repeat the same thing all the time. What? Okay. Okay. I hear you, brother. Okay, I hear you. Well, listen, we done. Good morning, on there. Good morning. LT, what's up?
Good morning.
Right, but you know they put him on a bus headed to Atlanta. Well, they wouldn't. I don't think they were trying to, but the bus they put him on headed to Atlanta. So I said, man, they're probably out of the state now. So yeah.
I didn't hear the statement, and I don't understand that statement. When you say a cap on wealth, I don't know what that means, and I didn't hear him make the statement. I don't understand that statement if it was made. How can you make a cap on wealth? Who determines the cap, and what is it? I don't understand that.
Yeah, you know, here's my problem, and we were talking about yesterday, a living wage and all that stuff. There is a certain amount of money that people need in order to provide themselves with the pure essentials of living. There just is. And I have to tell you, when a man makes $25 million a year, and I'm sitting here, you know,
That's capitalism.
And capitalism.
What does that have to do with a person who's poor?
And capitalism is not the best system. It's just the best system we got so far. There's got to be something.
One of the systems.
Yeah.
So what do you want? Communism?
Well, I don't know. I don't.
Communalism, where everyone makes exactly the same thing.
Well, no, but I hate to sound like a Democrat, but there's got to. What happens when morality meets profit? What happens in that
thing? Okay. Morality is one thing. Profit is another.
Listen, and LT. So you don't believe that there's enough? I mean, how much does a man need? You know.
This is a capitalistic society. If you ask that now, to answer your question, this is a capitalistic society. You make as much as you want to make, whatever that is. There are contractors that make millions of dollars. There are contractors that make minimum wage. It is your ability in this capitalistic society. If you play by the rules that are set out there in this capitalistic society, whatever you make, that's up to you. And what you choose to do with what you make is up to you.
LT, do you believe that there are people that are born with the same potential as the rich people are, but never get the opportunity? And so should they be kept down by the foot with somebody's foot on their neck because they had to be born on South Decatur Street or Decatur Street as opposed to out there on Vaughn Road? I mean, there's I don't know. That's a hard question for me because I used to think the way you talking about now, capitalism is great, and it is. It is the greatest.
Your attitude determines your outcome.
Yeah, and that's a nice cliche.
No, that is whatever you are determined to be, you will be that.
Yeah.
If a guy can box and he chooses to be the greatest boxer in the world, and he does everything to do that, he can become a millionaire being
That's
a boxer.
true. That's because
If he wants to be, that's why these kids play basketball.
Okay.
When they see these other kids, but only a small.
But that's
portion of
because the
people will get that.
mentality of a lot of Americans has been corrupted by entertainment. There's nowhere in the world a boxer
It
who
always
beats
has
the
been.
hell out of somebody should be a millionaire over a doctor who can save somebody.
It has always been that way. A
Okay.
gladiator could receive his
Exactly.
freedom, okay,
Exactly.
in Roman times,
Exactly.
in BC, before Christ.
Yeah.
So that still exists. If a person is determined to do something, they will do it if they are determined enough.
But we prioritize
And they make their
entertainment.
Entertainment has always been a priority.
Well, I guess so.
That's the way governments have pleased the masses, through entertainment.
Yeah.
The highest paid people in the world are athletes.
Yeah.
Per capita athletes.
But
whether it's soccer,
yeah,
whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whether it was the gladiators 1,000 years ago, it doesn't matter.
But LT, what do you think? I mean, what's your observation here? Yeah. Well, I mean, I hear you. I don't know. I just asked it.
Well, that doesn't work because even in communist countries, there are people.
And there are people who are rich. So
even in a capitalistic society, there will always be people who want to have more than other people.
Well,
it doesn't matter what system you're in, whether it's socialism, whether it's capitalism. You cannot put a cap on people because if they're determined to do something, they will.
But I think
there are oligarchs in Russia. As long as they do what Putin say, they become billionaires.
I mean, I guess that's true. But I've got to ask the same question that somebody asked, what Obama asked, or somebody asked, how much is enough? I mean, how much is enough?
It's not what you make; it's what you do with it.
Okay. Again, LT, you got a question there? I mean, you got an answer for that one? How much is enough, T? Mm. Yeah. Well, that's true. Listen, I'm glad I'm not in charge of that category.
Right.
So, all right, yeah. So it ain't gonna bother me at all how much people make. Just trying to keep my couple of dollars. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. I mean, okay. I mean, I don't disagree with that. I mean, that's true. And I guess that's what I was trying to say. Yeah. I guess that's what I was trying. But then again, Moses did wrong things. I've done wrong. Oh. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, sir.
Well, talk about it as soon as we come back, because we got to go to a break. Okay, so we'll come back, and that is a burn my side. Black History Month. It just depends on.
You brought that up. You know, I'll
I'll let you handle that one. So we'll be back. 860-1440 is the number here. Want to give us a call? But it is a question though. How much is enough? I guess that's a question that cannot be answered. Somebody once said when they asked a guy who understands how much, he said, "I just need a little more." So we'll be back.
Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle. My company is Blindster.com. I started Blindster in 2010 to provide custom blinds, shades, and shutters at affordable prices. Our blinds are easy to install and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive professional. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Our morning starts off mostly cloudy, a little bit of patchy fog. Temperatures, though, are a struggle today. North and west of Montgomery, upper 40s, low and mid-50s, and a lot of cloud cover. Continuing to stay cloudy with a few peaks of sunshine either side of 60 for Montgomery, but warming into the low, mid, and upper 60s south and east of the capital city. So definitely a big temperature for today. Wet weather arrives late Thursday into early Friday, then we're dry for the weekday. And that's your first alert forecast.
Yes,
I'm WSFA meteorologist Amanda Curran on News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Sons Automotive, family owned, family driven on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. We've had a very busy morning. A lot of accidents early. Here are the latest.
Is it raining?
Highway 31 in Prattville at Old Ridge Road, Norman Bridge Road near the Hyundai plant. Up the Highway 231 near the Russell Lewis Center of Highway 14. You see something else out there giving you trouble with traffic, so you can contact us here at the station, and we'll pass the info along. We do appreciate everybody's help. Quality pickup trucks are getting harder to find. Reinhardt Used Car Supercenter has a few on the lot right now. No money down and your good credit's all you need. Reinhardt Used Car Supercenter. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
Selecting the best choice for tires can be confusing.
How much is enough? That is the question.
Rated tire pros in Montgomery at Chico's Auto Pros. Tire needs.
If a person understands
News
what
Radio
is the
1440 at work,
difference
newsradio1440.com, at home through your Alexa or Google
understand that
smart home
difference.
device. Depend on News Radio 1440.
You understand the difference between rich and wealthy?
Campaigns share 8 characteristics. Radio is the only local media option.
You always do that, Kevin, but what I'm saying is I'm talking in terminology.
Of course,
What is okay? I'll tell you what the difference is.
Well, I know that we've had this conversation many times.
We have. I don't know if you remember it because you're asking a question now.
Rich. It's a philosophical question, though.
No, it's not a philosophical.
Well, to me it is. To me, it's
rich is a lot.
Yeah, but I didn't use the word rich. I said how much
No,
is enough.
I'm telling you, if you understand the difference between rich and wealth.
Okay.
Rich is a terminology to say a lot. You have a lot of something. You make a lot. Wealth is when you have more than you need for your basic needs. Everything you have left over after you met your obligations, whatever your needs are, that is your wealth. Now, you have people who there are basketball players, they make billions of dollars, but they are in debt. There are people who make six-figure salaries. They are rich. They make a lot, but they spend a lot. They live beyond their means. So how much is enough? In other words, I'm a minimalist. That's why I can explain it.
Me too.
People, no, you're not. A minimalist believes in loving people and using things.
To apply to your job.
Most people believe in loving things and using a lot of hay because they use
you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
That's usurism.
See why 4
That's
out of
what
5
is
employers
very
who
common in
post a job
America.
ZipRecruiter
That's
get
what
quality candidates
credit
within
is.
the first day.
It's
ZipRecruiter,
usury.
the smartest way
Where
to
people
hire.
want
And
more,
right now,
but
you
they
can
can't
try
afford it.
ZipRecruiter for free.
So I charge
That's
them
right.
free at
to do that.
ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
In other words,
That's
every year there are these
ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
tax places where you can get a
ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
loan on the money that you're going to get. You're borrowing and paying for money that you'll get in 2 or 3 weeks anyway. But if you want it tomorrow, you pay me interest rate, and I will give it to you.
It's a good business model.
See, that's you. Well, how much is enough? In other words,
because you
that's because the people who don't have much don't understand that if I'm paying you just to get my money today, that doesn't make sense. So if I can wait, if I can wait, that means you're greedy. If you can wait 2 weeks or 3 weeks to get your income tax, you'll have to. It doesn't cost you a dime to fill out your income tax. You can fill it out yourself. And you'll receive the exact same amount. The federal government tells you exactly how to do it. But it'll be 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes a month before you get the money.
Okay. You were asked a question by one of our callers. 860-1440. Let me take this call, then I'll let you answer what he asked you. To you, what does Black History Month mean? I'll give my perspective at some point in time before the month's out. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning. You're doing fine.
Fine. How are you, sir? Fine. How are you, sir?
Yeah. I could tell you, but then I'll have to divulge my sources. I mean, I have to. Well, I got it. Don't worry about where I got it. I got it. I know some of them ended up on a bus. Now, whether or not they actually made it to Atlanta, I don't know. But the bus was headed to Atlanta.
I can't help you. In other words, I have made no comment on that because I have no knowledge of what Kevin is talking about. What's the other question? Okay. Okay. Hold on. I am here to give a perspective. We were talking about an issue, and that Robert E. Lee issue was about today. No, the issue about Robert E. Lee was about the naming of a school today, from Robert E. Lee to a gentleman who was known as a famous scientist. That was mine, and I said that Robert E. Lee was a traitor. That's all that was in that, and it got into a long discussion about the Confederacy, etc. But it was about today, the changing of the name of the school, Robert E. Lee, to the name of someone else who was a well-known scientist, who was from Montgomery. That was the conversation originally. That was about today. Okay? Are you there?
I think it's gone.
Okay.
That's good. That's good. 860-1440 is the number.
So now to get to the question that I was asked about Black History Month. It's just like most things that happen in America. When things become commercialized, they don't make the sense that they did when they were started. When Carter G. Woodson originally gave the idea of Black History Week, when I was in elementary school, there were no history books that actually told about any of the history of African Americans, Blacks, or Africans. I went to a private school, which was a Catholic school, and we had some nuns there who were very interested in us, and that was their total purpose for coming to Montgomery. The Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament and the priest who came there. Their specific purpose in life was to educate, at the time it was called Negro and Indian children. And to educate us, one of the things they did is we had Negro History Week, because there were things that were not in our history books that we learned about, and we would would be charged with finding out information. And it was very hard to find information at that time because we didn't have the internet. So we had to look in the Cyclopedia, I'm not mispronouncing it, it's the Cyclopedia of the Colored Race or the Negro Race. That was one of those books that was written in the 1920s. There were other books that you would have that were written by Black authors that were not nationally known, only through Johnson Publications, through Jet and Ebony magazine. But in the everyday news, on television, radio, there was nothing, well, there was very little positive. If you ever saw Black people on television, they were either singing or comedians, or they were bucking their eyes or being step and fetch it. But there were actors, there were scientists, and there were people who were doing very positive things. And Carter G. Woodson was an African-American historian who brought out a lot of those, a lot of his books and a lot of his students. He was a graduate of Harvard, and he thought that was a great idea. Now, what happens when you get politics into things and commercialize it, then it becomes distorted. It was to teach originally Black students, which were mainly in segregated schools, especially in the South, about their history and everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Things other than Jackie Robinson being the first Black guy to do that, and all that first Black guy to do that. There were people already doing things, but when a Black guy did it, then he's the first. So it becomes such a big deal. When we have the first Black mayor, we've had mayors ever since we've had the city of Montgomery, then we get the first Black mayor, then it's supposed to be a big deal. No, it should have been mayors of Montgomery who are people concerned with Montgomery, period. That's the way it always should have been, but it was not. And we had to learn through history why there was a separation and why there was this negative tone. As the last caller we had, every week you bring something up negative about Black people. And that was the kind of attitude that we had all over America about Black people in general. You never heard about anything that Black people did unless it was something negative. So now with the internet, there's more disinformation than there was when I was a child. I used to read about all the things because we had Ebony magazine, we had Jet magazine. We knew a lot of these people who are in history books. I personally knew Rufus Lewis. I personally knew Miss Johnny Carr. A lot of these people and there were family members of mine who attended church and knew Rosa Parks and so forth. But the history gives it to you in one way, and they know it, how things actually happen. You know, Aurea Browder was the lead plaintiff in the lawsuit in the bus boycott. The bus boycott didn't stop anything. It was a lawsuit, the Browder versus Gale case, that told the city of Montgomery to cease and desist this process of segregating people on the bus and mistreating them. The bus boycott didn't do anything. If people think it did, it was just to show they supported the lawsuit. But the city of Montgomery did not respond to the bus boycott because they were going to start a white bus system until the federal government gave that to them and said, you will cease and desist the practice that you are doing. So if we learn the history, learn about Browder versus Gale, learn about Gilmore versus Gale. Kevin is on the, the Parks and Rec board. There's a building on that campus that you go to, W.A. Gale Planetarium. Do you know who W.A. Gale is? W.A. Gale is the person that received all of those lawsuits. It was Browder versus Gale. And Georgia Gilmore, who I knew personally. And when we had the desegregation of the parks, it was a lawsuit that led to that. It was Gilmore versus Gale. So how in the world did this man that cost the city of Montgomery all these millions of dollars in lawsuits end up being a hero when they reopened the parks? The parks were officially closed from 1958 until basically 1968, when things really got back together. It was opened up a little bit more. They opened eventually, but there was a swimming pool and how it all started is where, and this is history, Oak Park, which is one of the most beautiful parks in the United States of America, had a wonderful swimming pool and wonderful park there, but it was segregated. And when the black people sued to be a part of that park and be allowed to go to that city park, Tacky Gale closed all of the parks in the city of Montgomery in 1958, and they remained closed until the early 1960s. Okay, so this is the history we need to know. We need to know who these individuals are. We need to know where we came from, and we need to know what were their parts in where we are today. You know, when was the first desegregation of the theaters? There was a building that was known as the Weber Building. The Weber Building was originally a theater, and that theater was where John Wilkes Booth played at that theater. And it was a segregated theater, and the colored section was in the balcony, and they wanted to desegregate it. But after the first desegregation lawsuit was by a group of Alabama legislators in the 1870s. But we're told that civil rights began in the 1950s. In 1955 in Montgomery, Alabama, with the bus boycott. So what I'm saying, we have this commercialization now. Now let me bring it up to today. Now we have Negro History Sale this week. We have Negro History this, Negro History that. It's sort of like Christmas. Christmas is the Mass of Christ. It is not a fat, jolly guy and a reindeer. Christmas is the celebration, the Mass of Christ. But when it became commercialized, it changes. Easter is the celebration of the resurrection of Christ. Now it's an Easter bunny and eggs.
But most of us got some eggs, and we know that.
No, what I'm telling you is, I'm comparing when things get commercialized,
sure,
and when they lose their meaning, and we lose their understanding. Most little kids understand Christmas as getting Christmas presents from Santa Claus. Okay.
Good morning. Who's this?
So that's the same thing with Black history.
Good morning.
Madam, and if you will look, I have researched this very carefully, and I know people personally. The city of Montgomery was going to start a white bus system. That did not matter to them because they didn't care whether black people rode their bus or not. They were going to start another one. But when the federal lawsuit, if you look, that's why it's important to know your history. Don't go by what you think. They didn't care whether you rode the bus or not. Yes, they lost money, but they didn't care. Do you think they cared about losing money when they closed all the parks? They closed every park in the city of Montgomery in 1958, man. Do you think they cared about the money? It was a tradition. The tradition meant more to them than anything, man. It did not. It did not. The money did not affect them at all, because I told you, until they received that lawsuit in their hand, please read that, ma'am. When the city of Montgomery received the declaration from the U.S. Supreme Court to cease and desist that practice, until that day, they had planned to start a white bus system, segregated bus system. What I'm telling you, ma'am, is the White Citizen Council was going to start their own bus system, ma'am. But that had nothing, the bus boycott itself was not the reason for anything happening. It was the lawsuit. Until Tacky Gale had that lawsuit in his hand, ma'am. This is why we have to have history and learn history.
But I think
we have looked at television too.
Donald, but yeah. But you cannot say that the lost revenue
was irrelevant. It was irrelevant to the White Citizen Council.
And that may be true too, but it did have, anytime you lose money, it is going to have an effect on something.
They did not care.
Yeah,
It
I
was
don't care
irrelevant.
whether they cared or not. It's not the issue. The issue is that did they lose
And
finance?
that is why the White Citizen Council was going. And do you know what happened? After that, that, the city of Montgomery never bought a brand new bus until the administration of Bobby Bright. They never bought a new bus. The city bus system went down from the day that they were told you will cease and desist this practice and start. The bus system went down from that day.
Thank you, ma'am. Got to take a break. We'll be back. But to say that the money didn't matter,
It was irrelevant to the White Citizen Council.
We don't care about the council. But
I'm telling you, that is who was going to start.
But to the city,
it didn't matter.
Well, you're talking about personal people's attitudes, but financially, anytime you lose money, that's not a good thing.
You're thinking practical. They were not practical thinkers. They wanted to deal with a tradition.
Yeah.
And the tradition was, we are going to have our white bus system, and we will support it.
The money may have, to you and other people, may have been negligible, but it did do something, which means that those black folks were able to keep their, yes, they had to.
No.
The black folks were able to keep the money in their pocket and do something else with it.
They had hardships because they had to find another way to get to work.
Well, we still got them going on.
No.
Anyway, we'll be back after this.
First alert weather forecast.
That's why it's important to.
But that's your perspective, though.
I'm telling you the fact, Kevin. That bus boycott did not do a thing. That was just
it still did something.
Here's what you have,
and it got the ball rolling. It got the ball moving.
No, what you have is popular opinion. That's public opinion.
Okay.
It's public opinion. That's all that is. It doesn't stop anything.
Montgomery, upper 40s, low and mid 50s, and a lot of cloud cover. Continuing to stay cloudy with a few peaks of sunshine either side of 60 for Montgomery, but warming into the low, mid, and upper 60s south and east of the capital city. So definitely a big temperature spread today. Wet weather arrives late Thursday into early Friday. Then we're dry by Wednesday. And that's your first alert forecast. I'm WSFA meteorologist Amanda Curran on News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Sons Automotive, family owned, family driven on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Latest accidents now. Fitzpatrick Boulevard, right off of Virginia Loop in front of the school. We've got an accident reported there. That's the latest reported by the authorities this morning. You see something else giving you trouble, safely contact us. We'll pass the info along. From a simple patient transport to life and death situations, Haynes Ambulance is there for you both on the ground and in the air. Haynes Ambulance, ready at a moment's notice. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
Call the tire experts at Chico's Auto Pros, where you'll get the price match guarantee and free extras like roadside assistance, local towing, and free balance and rotation. Chico's Auto Pros.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HOT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HOT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HOT.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WIN for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download
This thing will keep ice and water cold for a week. 1 week. 80 hours.
I'm Martin Hope, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I told you about
Why you want to keep it that long?
That way I can keep it in here and drink cold water all week.
Allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you.
Should be drinking it by the day.
What do other people say about Navage? Like Josh.
That should be how much you drink a day, not a week. So you shouldn't even need it for a week.
I read the
You only need it for a day.
press the button, and oh my
Well,
God, what a sensation.
I mean,
So
but that's a good sales
so much
pitch. It'll
fun.
keep it cold for a week,
Merciful
but you only need it for a day.
my nose.
How much is
Never
enough?
have I taken such an amazing breath in my
That's right.
life.
How much is enough?
How much is enough?
And I do think that question can be answered. Now, I'm not the person to answer the question, but I think it can be answered.
Yes, it can be answered.
What would Jesus say?
Here you go.
What would Jesus say?
Here's what he would say. Here's what.
I don't think Jesus would
Here's
be
what.
capitalist.
Here's what priests used to
Be
most.
smart, witty, and
This is what
fast
allowed
on
me
the
to have a
draw.
problem.
It's
They
Mark
take a vow
Levine
of power.
this afternoon at 5
That
p.m.
means
on
church
News
is paid for
Radio
everything I need.
1440.
All my food, all my clothes, everything I need. So I don't need anything.
And we are back. 860-1440 is our number here. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir. It's the exact same thing.
How many want to just pay all that money just to belong to a club?
Well, it's an exclusive club. It was right across the street from where we are now. Yeah.
Well, they haven't called me yet.
Yeah, but it is not an exclusive club. There's a difference between an exclusive club and an inclusive.
But people have a right to have an exclusive club.
Right. That's why it's exclusive.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. You know, they were all old buses. Right. So what I'm telling you, it was by design, and we won the battle, but we lost the war. We got what you asked for. Okay, cease and desist this, but we don't have to give you a good product, and that's what happened. So we can't brag on what we did not. So it did not help anyone.
Let me ask.
So
both
they
you guys
actually
something.
won the war.
Let me ask both of you guys something. You know, I think the perspective of the whole Southern experience is better seen through eyes like mine rather than you guys.
No, it's not.
Well,
you don't have an understanding.
Let me explain. Well, that's what you say.
You come from a segregated society and didn't know it.
Okay, but you guys seem to be tethered so much to the past until you don't recognize the great accomplishments that have come about and the metamorphosis that has taken place down here. It's not perfect.
Okay.
Donald doesn't. He still thinks we're still back there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. It really doesn't, and I think we ought to let them have their lives without giving them the baggage of the past.
Look, Kevin, we were better off in 1955 than we are today.
Who is?
Black people in Montgomery. There were more black businesses. I could go everything I needed in life. I could get from black people. I could go to black businesses. I could support them, and they lived in my community. The best teachers in Montgomery were black teachers.
Okay.
The best schools were black schools.
All right. Good morning. Who's this? Turn your radio down. Yes.
Yes, I agree. And you know, I was talking about history. How did we get where we are? The city of Montgomery has been resistant in the bus system up until the Bobby Bright era. I'm not giving him a lot of credit now. I'm just saying that just happens to be the era when things started to change because we moved to a city council form of government. But prior to that, under the commission form of government, those commissioners didn't care about the bus system at all. Commissioners and the mayor. Right, and that's what people did during the bus boycott. They got there the best way they could.
You know, and that's one of the things I do not like about Black History Month. What? We spend too much time talking about what happened.
What we have to do is talk about where we are, we are now. How did we get here? How did we, when we talk about the school system, how did we get to a school system where we are? When I remember when Mr. Doggett was one of the best English teachers in Montgomery at Booker T. Washington, with Mary Reeser was one of the best English teachers in Montgomery at Booker T. Washington. I remember those teachers over at Lab High. You know, you had a math teacher who was the principal, had a PhD in mathematics, Dr. Clark, at Lab High. How did we go from Lab High, Booker T. Washington, Carver, and St. Jude to what we have now, where Lanier, which was the best white school, to being the worst? How do we get here?
Because I believe, and just me, I believe we are so tethered to the past when we don't, when the absence of the pursuit of excellence has somehow been disavowed. It has been lost.
No, Kevin.
Well, I've been here for 30 years now, and I'm just saying I've seen it.
If you understand now, I am a person who believes in excellence. You should know.
I didn't say you.
What I'm saying is,
but the system.
But the reason I believe in excellence because I was always taught that no matter what you do, you are always going to get half as much credit because you're black.
That's okay.
In other words, that means whatever I do it twice as good as any white person that would do the exact same thing.
Maybe I don't know, but I'm just telling you that we got this convenient excuse of the past.
Look,
is why we're not doing better now.
That's just my thing. I haven't heard you in a while, but you have that saying from Benjamin Elijah Mays.
Yeah. No
matter what you do in life, you do it so well that no man living,
will be back.
No man dead, no man yet to be born can do it better.
WSFA 12 News Update. News Radio.
But when we fail at something, we have this excuse of the past.
Hold on. I'm not giving an excuse.
I ain't saying you, but it's permeated in the fabric.
Here talking about. There are people who saying the bus boycott did something. Bus boycott didn't do a thing.
It started the process.
No, here's what you have.
What do you mean no?
No.
You mean no?
When we get back on
Parks didn't exist?
Yeah, and she didn't do a thing. She didn't do anything. See, and that's where the attention is. The attention is on Rosa Parks. The attention should be on the lawyers who went to the Supreme Court. That's what we should be talking about. That's what history is. We should be talking about what is truly history.
Well, again, though, we have this convenient excuse of the past.
Am I giving any excuse for anything? No, but see, you're taking it.
We're not moving forward.
But you have to know how you got where you're going. You don't know where you're going until you know where you come from.
WLWI News Radio 1440, also heard on 95.1 HD3 FM in Montgomery, a Cumulus media station.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom, but were worried it would take too long or cost too much.
Okay. What? Ain't that something?
So you can enjoy your new
Hey, boy, that makes sense. You done made my day, man.
Jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800.
Okay, all right, thank you, man.
That's 800-826-9895. 800-826-9895.
Whatever it is good.
All right, then. All right, thank you, man. I'll talk to you later. You know, my mama had an 8-foot sofa. I got a friend of mine who's 6'9". He called me. He called me to tell me, hey, man, thanks for that 8-foot sofa. Because he can't find no sofa.
Consumer reviews and more. Cumulus Boost online at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS boost.com.
Yeah, he's 6'9".
Radio is the only local media outlet that delivers our benefits. Radio reaches your potential customers.
And if it's still working, it's a good soul.
Oh, it's a good soul. And it's gold. You know, gold.
That build trust and
Nice.
credibility.
Velvety looking
Radio is
stuff.
simple and quick. You can get your message out in 24 to 48 hours. And radio is very affordable. That's why radio consistently gives you the highest return on investment. And it's also why it should always be your base media buy. Research also confirms that marketing campaigns generate even higher returns, starting at a 19% lift when they are on more than one platform. That's why Cumulus offers a variety of effective digital solutions to enhance your base radio buy. At Cumulus, we are your one-stop shop to deliver a coordinated radio and digital campaign that will get your business results. Hi, I'm Sonia Thompson, and it's my job to get your business results on News Radio 1440. To learn more about how to get started, go to newsradio1440.com and click on Grow Your Business.
Hey guys, it's the new year. We pop the champagne just at midnight, and it's time to make a new start. But if you aren't popping like you used to because of erectile dysfunction or low testosterone, maybe your new start should be making a call to Montgomery Men's Health. You see, ED is just a medical condition affecting men of all ages. But the good news is that ED is highly treatable. In fact, the medical experts at Montgomery Men's Health have successfully treated many men, with ED treatments having success rates as high as 90%. And with a variety of ED treatment options, including acoustic wave therapy, they can likely find the right one for you. You might even find your organs popping like it has in years. Plus, their treatments are highly effective. So many men have experienced life-changing results from increased energy to more productive workouts, feeling more rested, and enjoying a greater sex drive too. So make 2023 the year you get free of ED and low T. Make an appointment. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes a more comprehensive approach, including a testosterone lab panel and a medical consult. Call 3.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
It's a business.
Yeah, it's been. I ain't mad.
It is a business. Well, think about it like this. The coach of the University of Alabama received $100 million.
Too much sun exposure can be dangerous.
But it's a business.
Yeah.
It's a business. Look at it for what it is.
But nobody ever answered the question, how much is enough?
It's a business.
I hear you.
You know what? Once, in other words, Forrest Gump had the answer. Once you got enough for everything you need, everything else.
That's true. That's true.
Remember what Forrest Gump did?
Yeah.
Forrest Gump had the money. He bought a church and did that. He went to the little black church and did that. He lived in this. He had a house. He didn't buy another house. He had the same house he lived in with his mother. He bought a tractor. He go out on. So that's why I say in minimalism, you learn when enough is enough. As long as I have enough, when I get up in the morning, I can eat. I'm comfortable. That is enough. That's all you can do. Now, anything else other than that It's just me showing up.
Most insect bites are just annoying. Some viruses and bacteria.
When they got this little bitty monitor up here,
Several things that you can
monitor.
do to lower your risk.
Oh, you there?
Such as using BPA-based repellents containing
Kevin,
20%
you have the answer, and I've told you.
It is best to
As
always
long as you
consult
have
your
enough
pediatrician
to
before
take care of
using
your
repellents.
needs,
Basic
that
needs.
is enough.
Yeah.
Anything other than that, you're showing other people
Always check your
that you have it.
Right.
And those, most of the time, poor people don't know how to handle a lot. So they have to show people that they have it
Gutters clean and
when they
drainage
really
ditches
don't.
free from leaves.
That's how those. In other words, if a guy is on a team with Stephon Curry who's making $100 million and he's on there making $500,000, you can't spend the money this time. He lives in a $30 million house.
The thought
You
of my
can't buy
sons
30
growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
But because I know some guys, like I know see the guy out, I just don't. He lives in Richmond.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Getting
Good
support
thing
from
he
friends
did.
online kept me on track.
Now he
Staying
does
away
have a
from
house.
alcohol when I was first
He doesn't
quitting
drive a
was
fancy
key.
car.
Instead of smoking after I ate, I'd get up and
He's
take
a
a
little
walk.
bit new, but
I missed having a cigarette in my hand.
because
so I'd
he's
hold a
been in the
joint or a
lifestyle,
straw
been around a
in
million years. That
Until
doesn't
I
excite
knew I
him.
wouldn't give in to temptation, I spent more
He
time with my
lives
friends
right
who didn't
here,
smoke.
and
I went
several
to
of the
places that were
guys,
smoke
Mike
free.
Washington.
I didn't stay quit the very
Mike
first time I
Washington.
tried.
I kept on trying, and I
Yeah,
learned
yeah.
something each time.
Do whatever
But he
it
was,
takes.
how much
No
is
matter
enough?
how many times it takes.
Right?
I quit.
I quit.
I
See,
quit.
once you've been around it
So can you.
and you become accustomed to
For
it,
free help,
you
call
understand.
1-800-QUIT now. A
But if you
message
want
from
to
the
be
U.S.
free and
Department of
prove to
Health
other
and Human
people,
Services.
because there are a lot of
CDC.
people who were poor and grew up poor, and they want to prove to
Don't
other
miss
people
Sean
that
Hannity.
they have made it now.
Coherently adheres live this afternoon at 2
When is
p.m.
enough enough?
on News
Never.
Radio 1440.
Some people are just free.
Okay, the beginning of Black History Month or Black History Campaign, whichever one we want to call it. Somebody just text me and said, "Oh, we're gonna have a whole another month of whining." And sometimes it does seem like we
Am
whine.
I whining? In other words, Kevin, I was just stating factual information that we had a bus boycott. Okay, that has been blown out of proportion. You have the Rosa Parks Museum that was built by a white.
But who
student.
doesn't know that by now?
Well, most people. Well, it's distorted in a commercial way. What I said, what people should recognize is the reason we had the desegregation of the buses is because of the lawsuit, Browder
Sure.
versus Gale.
Sure.
And it should stop there. Then from there, to prove that we needed a good bus system, we didn't have a continuation of the bus system. It deteriorated from that point. And now it is trying to come back. And there are some people who are trying to make it come back. But now the attitude, because Montgomery has become a city that has been accustomed to traveling by automobile from place to place. It is simpler to get in a car and get on the interstate and be in traffic for 30 minutes to go from one side of town to the other than to get on a bus. People, and it is a negative thing about it now to be riding the bus. I have cousins who live in California who ride public transportation. They have good jobs. I have friends and cousins and friends who live in Chicago, never owned an automobile. They use public transportation.
Right, they use the subway.
I have people who know people who live in Connecticut and work in other states, but they have public transportation. So why don't we have where it all started here?
But I want to get here.
Where you want to get.
The conversation that we have, this is why I really don't talk a lot about it,
Mm-hmm.
to regurgitate the worst things of our society had when the way it comes when they were treating black folks. I understand it. My mother went through it. Your mom went through it. We went through it, and she born in the deep Delta of Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi.
Right.
So but my mother, I never will forget what she told me. She said, "Listen, don't hate anybody, just don't trust them." Good advice. It's hard to trust people anyway. But are we the two generations below us? Are they better off for hearing all of this stuff all over again? Every
all
year.
of the information I learned from my mother, and I have the books now that I
but are our kids better off?
Well, no. Here's what I'm saying: if you know where you come from, you know where you're going. Okay. My mother learned through education and through her family. you know, right here I have in front of me my grandfather's, I just keep it all the time to remind me. I have my grandfather's diploma. This is a copy of a diploma where he graduated from look at that. I want you to look at it. What does it say? Can you read it? I want you to read it. See, I'm being positive that in spite of all of those things, education was the key. It was not being a professional ball player. As a matter of fact, I received a phone call from a professional ball player as we were up there. But that's not the issue.
My thing is that
what's important
does it make our kids better today?
Not the way it's taught. In other words,
exactly.
You're either, and I've said it over and over again, you're either a victim or a survivor of segregation. I am a survivor of segregation. I do not have negative feelings about what happened during segregation.
So what's the purpose of the conversation?
To understand that in spite of everything that went on, we had Percy LaVaughn Jr., a man who went to Alabama State, that same school I was showing you there, where in the 9th grade, when he came out of the 9th grade, he could go to DePaul University. At that time, you could enter into a college without a high school diploma. He went to college and high school at the same time and graduated at the top of his class. This is what we need to know, that we have been able to do these things, but now we have more attention paid to entertainers. The billionaires now, and all the black entertainers, the billionaires are black entertainers. Think about that.
Dr. Bailey came up here one day, a couple of years ago, and he said they did a study of at that time people 50 years and below, the issue of race was such an insignificant thing until it almost didn't exist. It is older people such as yourself, me, who constantly remind us of what happened, as opposed to where we are. He said it is not young folks today. They just don't really.
Kevin, you have to know that there are certain things that happen, and there are people today who think that black people are inferior, whether you believe it or not. And you have to know where that thinking comes from. But that's not your problem or mine. It's not my problem that a person who looks at me and thinks that I'm inferior because I'm black, that's not my problem. That's their problem. And I don't have to do anything to prove to them that I am better than them. But that's where we have, and that is our problem, assimilation, where why is it black communities don't grow? Is because
but that's our fault.
Yes, it is. And I'm telling you why. Because to prove to white people that they are just as good as white people, they want to assimilate with them. They move into white neighborhoods. And as opposed to staying and improving your own neighborhood and improving where you are.
Maybe you can explain. Let's take this call and you can explain something to me. Good morning, you're on air.
Okay, you're a fool. See a fool, leave him a fool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you hear one, ignore him. There is one phenomenon that I have a difficult time trying to understand. If other ethnic, someone said I mispronounced. I go ethnic. If other
ethnicities,
blah, blah, blah,
okay,
can come to America, can come to Montgomery, and live amongst themselves when they're a little quiet.
You know why?
And it's no big deal.
I'll tell you why. Because other ethnicities, whether they are Irish, Italian, Asians, or Nigerians, they come from a culture. And they have a culture they bring with them. They bring a religion, they bring an attitude, and they bring a culture. We do not have a culture. We were slaves. We come from
But I wasn't a slave.
I'm selling it, Kevin, but I can trace back my great-great-great-grandmother was a slave, okay? She did not have a religion from where the country they originally came from. The religion she had was the religion of the master. When you assimilate with your master is not going to help you improve. When all of those slaves under the 14th and 15th Amendment said, okay, we're done with slavery. Then all of the slaves said, okay, now what? I don't have an education. I don't have a job. I'm used to working for free. What do I do? So there are variations of how people handle that. And one of the things, like the Booker T. Washington's and your George Washington Carver said, is education. That's what happened. And there are some people,
but our
and one of the things
system,
we've got to learn. But here's the thing. We were better off in segregation than we are today because we knew that you had to learn a trade or you had to be educated so you can educate other people.
But what has stopped
now
that expectation?
Because now there are people think that because the television, most of the education that kids receive now is off the television and the internet. What they see on TikTok, what they see in the virtual world is real to them. There are only a few people in the world who will ever be a millionaire from playing baseball, football, or basketball. But the majority of kids that you go to talk to young men now in school, the biggest aspiration they have is to be a professional athlete.
And one of those.
But you know what? I loved it better when I knew you could count the black ball players on a team. I remember when we knew Jim Brown, Gale Sayers, you could name it. I remember when you could name every black player in the NBA. You could name every black player in the NFL.
Yeah,
that's in my lifetime.
Good morning.
But now people think that everyone can do it, but you can't. It's only exceptional people who can do it.
Right. Good morning. Who's this?
Yeah. Good morning.
Yes.
Ma'am, one of our problems is we make things personal. You're making it a personal issue.
Well,
and that if we're talking about in general, and this is where I'm not talking about you personally, ma'am. I am talking about the diaspora of our people, period. Not you personally. We can give excuses. Oh, okay, I don't want to be talking over you. Go ahead. Go ahead. But our history is more than our personal feelings. I don't know about that. Look, I live in a part of town. My house is all electric, ma'am, and I can show you my bills during the summertime average $30 a month. Okay, I live in a tiny house. Well, I'm not going to move in East Montgomery because my bills are higher. What I would do is change the thing, and that's what I do to houses that I work with. I change the things in the house to meet the needs presently. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm not going to say that the majority of you're speaking on a personal level, and then that gets into us getting into an argument about why you move. That's not our purpose right now. We're talking about history in general. Let's keep it general, please, because now you're making it personal and I will be going against you personally. I'm not. I'm talking about the situation of improving. Ma'am, I can improve any house myself personally so that it can come up to today's standard. I have done that, okay? I can show you 2 of them I have done that to right now. And the people will tell you they are satisfied where they live because of what was done, okay? But I could only do 2 because I didn't have the funds to do any more. But what I'm saying, ma'am, is if we improved our neighborhood. I had a neighbor that lived across the street from me, never had a car. She had retired from the school system, and she lived right across the street from me. That's how I moved to the neighborhood when I originally used to work. I did a lot of the improvements on her house, and that house is over there now. And the people who live in it now, they have the new system is a compact system where it doesn't have ductwork on the air conditioning. It doesn't have, so therefore it's only turned on when you're in the house and you're in the room. So there are ways to do that. If you want to get into that, I can get into how you can live cheaper where you are, okay? But that's not my purpose for this conversation. I'm not attacking you personally. I'm just talking about in general. Why do we try to assimilate? It's about assimilation. That's what I would say. Yes. Well, I didn't have to. I went to St. Jude. When they closed Booker T. Washington, which was right across the street from St. John, all I did was went to St. Jude. Okay. But we.
There y'all go back in that past thing again.
Yeah, and see, this is what I'm saying is assimilation. See, please, let's not make it personal. Let's not make it personal. What I'm saying is assimilation is a process from not having a culture. You assimilate into another culture, and that causes a problem in countries, okay? That's what caused the problem in every country in Africa. Every country in Africa, except Ethiopia, was a colony of a European country. And they were divided so that they would divide the countries up. Just like you and I are arguing about a thing about whether to live in East Montgomery or West Montgomery. We're not arguing about it, we disagree on it. What I'm saying, if assimilation is a process that deteriorates a group of people.
Okay, well, we're done with that.
That was one of them. That was one of them.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
We're done with that one.
Okay.
Good morning, on there.
Good morning, sir. Well, here again, sir, you're making it personal. We're talking about now. Yes, I'm quite aware of that. My family had to move 4 times over there in the expansion of Alabama State. So they moved from one place in Bel Air to another place in Bel Air to another place in Bel Air and finally into Normandale.
But you guys do Southern. I'm
not
tethered to the past.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying, Kevin, and this is where people get into arguments because they're trying to give excuses for assimilation. If you improve, in other words, Cloverdale is a community. I live in a community now that is between Cloverdale, Capitol Heights, this downtown area. Those people are improving their community. Cloverdale is improving its community. Cottage Hill is improving its community. Yes, there was a transition, but now they are bringing people back downtown. Cottage Hill, right up the hill from where we are now, right? There was a time you could buy a house for $5,000 in Cottage Hill, in the outskirts of it. Now houses are some of the highest priced houses in Montgomery. There are people who are building brand new houses that look like old ones. What I'm saying is there is a standard and a tradition that those people are upholding in those communities. Why can't we do the same thing in ours?
And that's the question.
Because we are assimilating. We're not
We
proud
can
of who
move
we
anywhere we want to move.
Well, we're not proud of who we are and what we have accomplished in spite of. In other words, as I go down Jackson Street, I am appalled at what I see because in spite of, back in the 1950s, Jackson Street was a beautiful street in 1955 and 1965. Now in that same area, then someone's gonna call and tell me about their house that's nice. There are still nice houses on there, but the general view that you see on there is deterioration. The general view that you see on the street that I live on is deterioration. You know, I'm working on a house now that's deteriorating because I had some things to go through and work on. But it is a nice, comfortable place that I'm in.
But let me answer.
But
why is
assimilation.
why is it that of all the people that have come to America under most austere circumstances, running from their own government, all that, we still seem to be the biggest group.
I just told you.
But listen, they assimilate.
Kevin, I don't want to interrupt you,
some
but
of them are assimilated.
no, they don't. Look, when people come from India to the United States,
Okay.
those are the best of the best. Okay?
Okay.
When people come to America from Korea, they're usually the best of the best.
But not necessarily so.
Now, and then they come with a culture. It is a difference when you.
We have a culture. I'm born in America. I'm born in America. That's
You
my
do
culture.
not have a culture.
My culture is an American
Your culture is the culture that you assimilate.
It's the only one
to
I know.
the society. In other words,
It's the only one I know.
First of all, what do people look at you when they see you? They see a black man, right?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And there are things that they assume about you.
Okay.
They assume you're a Democrat, right?
That would be a wrong assumption.
Right. But I'm just saying
But we all get stereotyped.
There are certain things, there are certain stereotypes, but most of those associated with black people are negative.
Okay.
Now,
and it's our job to change that.
No, here's the deal.
It is what it is.
Look, and the only way most people think they can change that is by assimilation. They move into a neighborhood that says, I have arrived. I live in this neighborhood. And I don't want people to think that I'm trying to put them down and please stop making it personal. If you understand what is happening, I know a guy's going to call me that lives in Brighton Estates and tell me, well, I moved there because, look, our problem is we don't have a culture. Yes, we are the problem.
But
we do not have a culture.
So we need to stop looking for a culture and embrace the one we have.
That's what I'm saying. So we're in agreement.
Yeah, I was born in South Bend, Indiana.
Right.
Bam. I'm an Indiana.
Okay. Now, that's why I live in Centennial Hill. And I love Centennial Hill because I know where it was.
Right.
It is not going to return back to where it was, but I can have some of the memories and some of the people around me who know what was.
Okay, let me grab
and that's the positive part.
Good morning. Who's this? I knew you was coming with that one. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Mm. But my history is in America. As an American, that's I don't care about what happened in Africa. I don't.
Well, it's all related, but there are important people here. Like I said, Percy LaVon Julian.
Yeah. Well, we need to give some of them back. we need to give some of them traditions back there, because it ain't doing us much good over here. Right on. All right. Quick. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And with that, gotta go. This is what I don't like about Black History Month. Black History, I just don't like it.
Well, see, you're making it negative. I mean,
no, that's negative. It's just that we gotta get out of everything. We gotta
negative.
let go of that past.
No, you've got to understand where you come from.
Well, y'all understand it a little bit too much.
No, you're taking it the wrong way.
Okay, maybe I am. We'll be back.
No, Kevin,
News Radio
I'm saying the most important people in our community used to be school teachers.
Sure.
When, like I said, Mary Reeser, Coach Boswell.
But we don't live in those times anymore.
No, what I'm saying is, because we're trying to assimilate in a culture that the things that are not important are important to us. It used not to be important to have a fancy car. That was in our community.
Because we couldn't afford it.
Because you couldn't afford it. And you still can't afford it. You know what? We were better off when we didn't have credit. I remember when no car dealer in Montgomery would give a black person any credit. You know, they had GMC, and that helped them out. That means you save up the money until you can buy a car you can afford. Now we have used car dealers all over. You advertising too. There are people who spend 75% of their earnings on the car.
This is the Sean.
That was unheard of.
Ukraine is not a
You know what? I don't think anything about a car. I've had cars. I've had nice cars.
We end up being
but I paid cash for every
support. All we have allowed to have happen here is this now to
we look at cars. I mean, you get new cars all the time. You pay more in interest.
To occur.
Then you have paid more.
You may have noticed
time to rebuild his armies and get enough people and recalibrate his strategies. Firing his hypersonic missiles in the Earth's backyard. And now the pressure is on the United States once again. Well, we have what $31 trillion in debt to somehow step up and pay for all this. American people have had with these endless wars that they don't fight and they don't fight to win.
It's already depreciated. And if he sold it now, if he's selling for about the same price as what we bought. And replace, but he can afford it.
Had his home stolen.
You don't get into
the crime is home title.
We are trying to
real.
prove
It's
too many
horrendous,
things,
but it's real and it's everywhere.
People buy fancy
this
cars.
was just a demo, but I saw.
They're not buying that car because
all
that's
around
what
the
they
world
really like.
target
They're
American
buying that to show
homeowners,
that.
and
I
that's
have
why
a
I
ride
protect
seat.
my
Let me show
home
you.
with
That's
home
the only reason I bought a new car. I bought a new car because I don't want to be stuck in the hill. I don't want to be stuck out in the woods out there at nighttime with no car that broke down. Maybe somebody
identity theft programs.
You can get.
Protect
I can put everything
but
brand
Home
new
Title
on that
Lock
truck.
does.
I drive a 40-year-old.
Protect yourself. Just go
I
to
put
their
everything
website.
on
It's
brand new.
HomeTitleLock.com.
It has a new
/Sean,
transmission.
SEAN. Verify your
I'm gonna let a
home's
guy
title
do
is still
some things
safely
that
in your
you
name,
have to know
and just
how they
register
work.
your
See, I know
address
everything
for a
about
free,
how
no
that works.
obligation home title report.
So
files
I know what
is
can
a
and cannot be
$100
replaced.
value,
You know, you got-
absolutely free.
Think about it.
That's home title.
Train engines last for years.
Home title lock.
Know why?
.com
Because of
/Sean,
maintenance.
SEAN.
The military trucks last for years.
Years. They last. They don't buy a new one every year. They have people who maintain them. So you can, and then they drive them more than you would your car. So they don't keep buying new just so it be dependable.
And that's huge.
You
but
make
it's
what
also
you
true that
have.
people are way more
So like I
I say,
satisfied.
what culture does a child have that's born
The
into white and
customer
black parents?
satisfaction rate for Medishare
What
is
culture
double
do they have?
that of the
Which
typical health
culture?
insurance
Which
plan.
culture
Medishare
is a
works
dominant
to
culture
grow
in
a
a
quarter
interracial
century, and
child?
members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's
to the
bills.
parents.
People
Ask
love having
Patrick Mahomes.
telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO
He took
network.
the black
So,
side.
yeah, you can save a ton.
Took the white
and make
woman,
it
but he
better.
took the black side.
Imagine being happy with how you're
He
taking
lived with
care
his
of your
mom.
health care.
Still
So
live
if
with
you're
his mom.
self-employed or part of the gig
Patrick
economy, or you
Mahomes
just want to plan
lived
your
with his
happy
mom
life, you
until he
can
got
call
married.
right now.
Well,
Well, he lived with his mom and his dad. Well,
Well,
when you get in there, it's not a black culture. His dad made most of his money overseas, played in Spain.
Bible 855-51 Bible.
So what I'm saying, he's multicultural. He's multicultural. But the difference is, he's never been poor. See, and the difference is, okay, the other Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the kind of quarterback he is because his dad is a coach. That's where he grew up, and he learned how to do things correctly from he. Now Jalen Hurts could be a coach, but he ain't gonna do that. He's gonna make $100 million. So he won't even work no more.
Even with heart failure, my mother
But
remained strong. Because
when people get into this
without
thing about
you
it's
lose
not
hope.
a black culture. I'm
Together,
saying it's a
we
culture. When I'm saying
rise
culture, I'm not talking about race.
To help prevent,
Race is not a
improve,
culture.
or manage heart failure, go to riseabove.
I'm
That's
talking,
true. It is.
race is not a culture. So I don't know. That's probably somebody white that said that, because race is not a culture. Culture is from a country and its tradition or an area. So he's thinking black culture. So when I say Indians from India, that's a culture.
All right, then. We are back. 860-1440 is the number if you want to chime in and opine, which means to make comment or anything. And we got a lot of things going on. Selma Mayor seems to have COVID-19. Now, this is just a word I get from my sources in Selma. He kind of put the police chief on hot seat for him, because the police chief at Selma was training, and when the tornado came and the mayor told him to come back to town, he said, I can't come back to town because I have to finish this training. So the mayor kind of ticked off, which I don't blame the guy. I do not blame the police chief for doing that. It was nothing he can do if he got on the airplane, came back here, and neglected his training. There was nothing he could do. He's not a doctor, he's not an engineer, he's a police chief. He had good people. If you got good people under you, they can handle things when you're gone. Okay, he needed the training. They paid a lot of money for it. So come on, Perkins, perk up. Okay, I'm just saying, let the guy finish his training. He could have got on the plane right then and there. He couldn't have stopped what happened. He really wouldn't have helped very much. If you got good, that's why it's important to have good people working under you. Don't just hire somebody because they're your cousin, okay, because you know somebody that knew somebody else. Hire people that can do the same job you do. And so I'm not going to be mad at the police chief over there at Selma because he had finished his training. So, Perkins, okay, get a life. All right, and oh yeah, get over that COVID too. I know you got that too. Don't worry about it. Okay. Anybody else? Tell them I said this. I deny it. All right then. What else on your mind?
I'm not getting into a personal disagreement. That's just two people there.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting conversation here, that on air and off air, about where we are. And the question originally was about Black history. And I think it's blown out of proportion now in a way that's more negative than a positive. And people like yourself,
yeah.
you look at Black history as just people whining about what happened in the past.
Yes.
And complaining, but no,
that's
all you look at.
We've seen,
but what I see is, like when I say, I was looking at the positive of Percy LeVon Julian being the person whom Robert E. Lee would be named after, because that is a person who accomplished a lot of things in spite of the situation that he was in. That's what I say. In spite of,
and if we
have done so much,
right? And if we can take this day, right? If we can take this day,
that's what we need to
and announce what you have just said. In spite of these things, these are our heroes. These are the people that accomplished things. If we could spend more time on that than what Mr. Whitey did a long time ago to us,
it's okay. He did that, but that was his problem.
Right, that was his problem.
So what we need to know is, what did our people in Africa do.
I
Other
don't
than
care about
what
Africa. I
no,
don't care
it's
about
it's
that.
all related.
No, it ain't right.
We had to get here from some people in
They
Africa.
help get us here.
But you have to understand how that happened.
Yeah, well.
And if we
can
look
make
at that,
we can make
but
excuses
see,
for them, but they did it.
but once we're here, now let's deal the part we can deal with is once we're here, how were we treated by the people here?
Okay, not
and
good.
what did we do?
Not good.
In spite of
Right.
what they
And
did.
that's what this day should be all about.
That's-
This month should be all
and
about.
that's
in
what-
spite of the.
In spite of.
Right. That's what this day.
Not
should be about.
because of.
Right.
In spite of.
Good morning. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean? What does that mean?
But let me ask you a question, and I don't want to poo-poo on your parade here, but so what you putting? But so what you putting a rose garden up? So what?
Why did you poo-poo on this parade?
Because it's roses die. But I'm. Hey, can you repaint the houses over there a different color so it don't look like government housing?
Why are you poo-pooing on this parade? He called to tell you something positive.
So what? Who cares about
Kevin
flowers?
is so negative. He's just so negative. He picks up the negative.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes, it is. Yeah. All right. Okay, I'll be the guy sitting in the back. Okay, appreciate it. All right. I mean, I don't know how roses are going to change the paradigm, but okay, right on for the roses. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning. Pretty good.
Right.
I appreciate it. Let's take a break, and we'll be back right after this message. Oh, did I get somebody on there? I guess not. Okay. We'll be back after this.
USFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I mean, I'm used to being stared at like a bear in a cage like that, but not from my friends. What's up?
When you get a chance, call me.
Are you gonna be here for a while?
Yeah, but we're going to a meeting at 9.
Okay, now tell what time. How long
And a
that
lot of
lasts.
cloud
Okay.
cover. Continuing to stay cloudy with a few peaks of sunshine either side of 60 for Montgomery, but
You're
warming
so
into the
negative,
low mid
Kathy.
and upper
I just-
60s south
Yeah,
east.
you know, you're, in other words,
Definitely big temperatures for today, but
I'm trying to say, hopefully, when I leave here, you understand what I'm saying. In spite of,
Exactly.
these are the things we accomplished.
And these are the we'll be
That-
proud
And
of.
that's what Black History was.
Right.
It was in spite of. But you put it into a thing like, I don't come up here complaining what white people did. I'm saying these are the things we did. We had, I told you, Mary Reeser was one of the best English teachers in Montgomery. Dr. Doggett was one of the best English teachers. Miss Sadie Penn was the best English teacher in Montgomery. And she taught at Lab High. And when they closed Lab High down, they moved her over to Lee.
Wait a minute. Now.
You know who Sadie Penn is, right? That's Benzetta's mom.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Let me get this right. So we are going to celebrate a language that was posted upon us involuntarily.
You are here now. You're in America. You're in America, like Martin Luther King said. We're in America. Yeah. We here to stay, and we ain't going nowhere.
He said we all came. So we all came in different ships, but we're in the same boat now.
Yeah, we here. So while we're here, let's learn to communicate in their language.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
That's good.
In other words, I'll give you a good example of someone who has learned how to assimilate perfectly and take advantage of it. Coach Prime, he has learned how to assimilate. Coach Prime.
Oh, Prime time.
Prime is Prime.
Yeah.
He is going to change the entire culture of the University of Colorado because he's going to bring.
And he comes across as very intelligent.
He is not come across. He is.
And I'm
He's smart.
Now this is
Look. He went to Atlanta. Why you think they call him Prime Time? You remember him playing?
Yeah.
Prime Time. Look here. They were playing against one team, and the guy took his first play and ran a kickoff for a touchdown. On that kickoff, Prime Time said, "Oh man, because they all down and everything." This is when he played in Atlanta. They all down. Oh man, they're gonna run a touchdown back on him. Prime said, "Don't worry, I got this, man." Coach Prime on the kickoff. He took that ball and went through there and slid back and put it and then got in there and then did that little step.
Yeah.
And play my theme song. Too legit to quit. He changed the whole culture of Atlanta. Too legit to quit. Too legit to quit. Because he had Hammer Time was on the sideline with him. Yeah. Andre Rison married one of those TLC. I mean, they created their own culture. During the Olympics, oh man, that was all they were talking about.
When your business information is missing or
So what I'm saying is, in spite of, if you know how to make the system work,
that's right. And that's in spite of. And that's why.
See, in other words, he came from Florida and went into the pro, and he said, "Look, I'm gonna make some money." That's what it's all about. Then when he went to Jackson State, he said, "I'm gonna make some money." His daughter and his two sons on that team. His daughter and his two sons are with him at Colorado, and they ain't gonna pay a dime to be there. Okay. See, you get in spite of. See, that's our history. We have to learn in spite of.
HBCU didn't really recognize that man did more to bring a positive light to HBCU.
He did, but you have to take advantage of it.
Right.
Take
advantage of it.
Don't take, because see, when he played that role like a professional boxer where they get into a fake fight, that's all a promotion. You got to play along with the game. But then everybody don't know how to play the game. Now he's gonna take that to. Now he's gonna be challenging Coach Saban for show. Here I said for show. Okay. And he's gonna insist that now. I hope it's very well because he's gonna insist that his son come up for the Heisman. He's gonna play it.
It's the Dan Bongino Show.
Who was it, Jackson State? Quarterback.
News Radio 1440.
It is 8:47 this morning. I guess it's Donald Jenkins with us, giving his perspective on some of the comments of the day. Let's go back to phone and see who is there. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It is. We commemorate. We don't celebrate. Well, there's a difference between celebration and commemoration. I imagine it. I'm smart. Yeah. Okay. Right. Sure it is. It'll always be part of history. Because here's what I think we did. We have a tendency in America, most of the time, when something drastically happens to us it makes us better. It takes us to a better place. Every time we celebrate, to me, from my perspective, when we celebrate Black History Month, we get down to the weeds of the bad part of it, as opposed to where we were talking about a few minutes ago, where we came from and where we are today. We should focus more on that, not what happened to us.
In spite of.
Yeah. Wait, but just my perspective, right? I'm not telling you to think that way. Yeah.
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 Well, we're getting into the political now. So that starts a whole nother argument.
Right,
but my conversation here is, the question was originally asked is to give my perspective on Black history. And what I was saying is, it is over commercialized now that the true meaning of Negro History Week, which it originally was to show us as young kids, in spite of what happened in the past, these are the things that were accomplished by Black people. Now, that's what it used to be. In spite of.
Yeah. All right. Hey, please let me take one more. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning. Good.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. Of course it is. But here's my problem. And again, here's where I'm lost in the weeds. The conversation is good, but what is the purpose of the conversation? If the purpose of the conversation is just to elaborate more and more and more on all the bad, then it's a waste of time. We cannot undo what happened.
And what have I been trying to do, other than getting these arguments with you, is to try and prove that Negro History Week was to show that in spite of the conditions of our people,
right,
these are the things that were accomplished by Black people.
And I wish we spent more time on that.
Now, that's what it was. Yeah. It wasn't about complaining about racism. It was just showing, in spite of racism, that's just a sidebar.
Let me take one more call.
What we have.
Then I get out. Good morning, you on there. Thanks for calling. Another caller. Good morning. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. No, that's not giving that much. Wait a minute. Let's not give that much credit. Wait. I know, but let's not give some of these stupid hairdos credit. Yeah. Because, and I'll tell you why. Wait a minute, let me ask you. Well, let me ask you a question. Is there what? No. But I must ask you this. I must ask you before I let you go. In the discussion of Black history in every February, or Black History Month, whatever the case may be, and I get, is there ever a discussion about the white folks that helped us? Democrats? Yeah. Wait a minute. We know. We know it wasn't us. Right. Because it makes them better. Wait a minute. The Jewish people have taken that history. Wait a minute. We killing each other every day.
They have a culture. You're talking about a group of people that have a culture.
Right. We're killing each other. The most dangerous neighborhood to black folks is black folks.
Is that the entire culture of us?
No, it's a big one.
No.
It's a big one.
No, it's not.
Okay, well, that's what y'all say. Yeah. But we can tell that history, though. We have the ability to tell our own history. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we pay like we paid $300 for a pair of $15 tennis shoes. Whose fault is that?
When you say we, who is that? You said we.
Some of us.
I'm talking about Kevin.
Some of us. Yeah. No, some of us do that. $50. You paid that much? Man, I'm a $20 man.
Well, that's style. That's an old.
I'm a $20 man. Yeah. Yeah. But we can find out all we want to now. We can find out.
No, not really.
All we do is go on the internet and find it.
That's more disinformation and misinformation on the internet.
Oh, okay.
There's more misinformation.
Okay.
Right.
From the fiction. Appreciate it. I gotta go. Our time is up. Donald, thank you again for coming and supplying us with a different perspective.
There you go. In spite of.
Yeah. Leave that pamper over in the drawer over there. We'll be back.
WSFA 12.
Hopefully, you very awesome. The original question was my take on Black History. Right now, because of the commercializing of Black History Month, the true meaning of what Black history was originally has been lost.
Right.
Because Carter G. Woodson, who was, and if you read any of his books, that's what it is. It isn't complaining about white folks this, white folks that. No, it's